bit.
I mean, you kind of just brought us in anyway, but that's fine.
Oh, are we
Welcome,
already going?
welcome to the GLOBEX stream, everybody. It's my first. Goose, welcome to the channel, brother. Everybody's favorite glizzy creator here.
Yeah, what's up, my dude?
What's up, brother? How are you?
Doing pretty good so far. It's been a slow but good week so far, so I can't complain.
Neither can I. I've maybe traded. I've maybe taken 3 trades this entire week so far. Maybe.
Yeah. The volatility has died out a little bit, and I know it means less trade opportunity, but in all honesty, I liked the lower volatility a lot more because you can hit your trades with a lot more confidence and a lot more size.
Yeah, just stay away from NQ. That's all I
Yeah,
recommend.
I do that pretty well anyway. We're YMES gang pretty much right now.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Nims, thanks for staying up and catching up. I saw you in the holding cell earlier. Sorry, brother. You're going to have to stay in jail this evening. What's up, Savvy Mason? Who else is in the chat here? Albu, Kyle, Martin,
Joel,
Joel.
decent sized squad already.
Yeah.
21 watching now or about it.
All right,
Welcome everyone.
So Goose, first things first. Thanks for the introduction to the glizzy. It has kept me out of a lot of trouble spots in recent weeks.
Same. Same.
A lot of trouble spots in recent weeks. Secondly, kind of what I want to do with this stream, if you're not opposed to it, is give an overall, there's some confusion about what the glizzy actually does. So like today I had a trader in Level Up who uses the glizzy as the last glizzy that printed, correct? The last signal that printed is a buy signal until a sell signal prints.
Oh,
Do you see what I'm saying?
yeah, I get exactly what you mean, and if only someone made like a full video.
I mean,
how the glizzy works
it gets posted in both Discords. I mean,
that it never fails though. But at the same time, I think Mr. Fox, I don't know if he's in here or not, but he had a great analogy the other day of like, just because like the glizzy clipper is a tool much like a lathe, and like many people are very good with a lathe, but just because you have a lathe doesn't mean that you know how to use it. Right? It takes time, it takes practice, and it takes learning, and there's probably many different ways that you could trade the glizzy effectively, but it's not just like a buy sell signal. I mean, it looks like that a lot of the times. I give like full credit to the grizzly clipper. It looks really good, a lot like you could just buy and sell, but it's really more identifying like, hey, we are in a mean reversion territory, and if you have a reason to take a trade and you are in prime glizzy territory, then it's just more confluence to like take that trade.
correct.
Like, I essentially what the glizzy clipper is doing is like these arrows are plotting when all of the conditions that I use are met for the mean reversion to be at like its most optimal time. So then I will then watch price action or see if we're any levels or anything to then, decide to take a trade, because just because a glizzy's printing doesn't mean like it's time to reverse. We can go a ways before we actually get that reversal. As we've seen, especially in this volatility. But we know that even though it's going a ways, we're maxed out on everything to, be in that reversal situation. So we should be on edge to be looking to take that reversal.
Okay. If you're here, I don't mean to call you out, brother, but there's a good explanation. I'm not gonna lie, the thing has been great. Incorporating it into my strategy has been a little difficult sometimes, I want to say, like it's figuring out how it fits in, because I find myself, taking a lot of stabs because I'm really just kind of blind following it initially just to feel it out. So I'm taking a lot of paper cuts along the way until I get the full send signal where I'll take $200 $300 $200 losers before I catch the 12, 13, 14, sometimes $2,000 winner. So I guess for me, it's more a filtering thing that I need to figure out. But it's been magnificent, brother. I'm not going to lie. Best indicator I've seen.
And that's kind of the thing with it too. Like what I'll do a lot of the times is if we get a glizzy posting and we're kind of in that really good area or price action is doing something to where I think we're probably going to turn around. Like yesterday was a great example. We had some glizzies posting, but price wasn't quite turning around.
Here, I'll go over to your chart.
I ended up taking a short and I sat in drawdown for a little bit, but I wasn't that heavy. Right. So I could still kind of let that play just like work out and work its way there, especially in this volatility. You don't necessarily know how far something's going to go before it turns around, but we know we're in turnaround territory, however wide that is. And then you just have to kind of take that into account with where the kelp mid is, because ultimately kelp mid is the main kelp mid is the main target. And as long as your risk reward profile makes sense with where kelp mid is, you can take some drawdown, and as long as that relative distance stays, at least 1-to-1 or better, you're going to be fine as we get some buyers that are kind of coming in right now.
I see that.
That's kind of what is that, 70-point candle on YM? It's kind of big.
Yeah.
Oh, and Albu says the momentum indicator is good. It is. The momentum indicator is like my favorite thing next to the Celt. The Celts are obviously like my favorite thing, but I didn't make the Celts. The momentum indicator I do like a lot because essentially I made it to where, like, I used to measure harmonics manually. Like I would just take a line and draw it and like move it around all day, saying like, hey, harmonics are like, like on NQ, like this is back in the day because harmonics were at like 55. I would like draw a line on my charts. Do you have my charts open right now?
They are up on stream, brother.
So I would take like a line, and let's say harmonics on YM were however much this is, right? And I would just draw this line, and as moves were happening, I would just keep measuring the moves with this line all day long.
Wow,
and be like, well,
really?
If price hasn't moved at least this much, I don't want to take reversal trade because I know we haven't moved an entire harmonic rotation yet. And I would just do that all day long, and like that was one of the criteria for me taking the trade would be this line. That
seems grueling, brother. So you were just staring at charts for 8, 9, 10 hours a day?
Pretty much. I would be at charts all day long. I would have this little line with me. I mean, I would wait till we got to like my levels and stuff. I could settle if I wanted to take charts, I'd set alerts, and then I had a whole separate set of charts for doing the expected range. And I would manually have to calculate the expected range every day. I'd have the Celts, I'd have my zones, and like all this other stuff. And now, with the Glizzy Clipper, it's been really nice because everything is just all one indicator, and I no longer have to drag this line around or calculate anything by hand.
Oh, it's fantastic.
It's
I'm not gonna lie, it's fantastic.
Because I used to have to type in all my values. Like I would type them all into Excel, get my calculations from Excel, and then go into Quantower, and I would like make lines and boxes and like have to copy paste them all throughout the day and plot them on my chart and everything. And it was really annoying, and it was tedious to do, especially like if things were happening pretty fast. Because like I'd have to wake up in the morning every morning and do the calcs and everything, and now everything's just done for me.
That's I mean, kudos to Bird, by the way. Shout out to Bird if you're here. You guys definitely teamed up and did something amazing for the trading community. I'm hoping more people catch on to how good it is. So
yeah, if anything, it just helps you mitigate a lot of risk and stay out of chop. Like I think that's like the number one thing for like us as traders is like trading in a high risk environment, or at least trading in a low probability environment. Whereas like with the Glizzy Clipper, with the expected range and the Celts and the harmonic rotation and all the other things that work in the background of the Glizzy Clipper that you don't see on the chart, just having all those things lined up at once, it's not, like I said, it's not a guarantee that like when an arrow posts, you just take that trade, but it puts you in a situation where you are more likely to be right for catching that reversal. And
Yeah.
you're more likely like in that explosive area where, price is going to return. And then you have like an expected target zone, which is also a big thing. You're not taking a guess on how far price should go. We know that, hey, price should return to at least Kelt mid. That's our main target. We may take scalps, along the way. I take a lot of scalps at the edge of the Kelt unless, things are really, really perfect and lined up.
Yeah.
But even still, like, I'm taking these scalps with the confidence that I know that I'm taking like 10% of whatever the 100% size of the move is. So my profitability factor, like, goes way up, or the likelihood of that trade filling goes way up, because I think price should go to way up here, and I'm just going to take it down here just so that my win rate, goes way up. And that's, like I said, I can get my base hits, get out, and then every once in a while when things really align, I can, take those bigger trades, and those bigger trades really pay.
Yeah, I mean, that's where you make your money, honestly. The rest of the time, the big trades are where you make your money. Honestly, the small wins or the paper cuts, or you're just trying to stay break even, really. I mean, what do we say? 30 to 60 days out of the year are when you make all your money as a trader.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a really small amount of them are actually the days where, we hit the bang. But those, like, the thing is, those banger trades and those banger days don't mean anything if you're having to dig out of a hole with them.
True.
It's about treading water and not being red when we catch those, big trades.
Yeah, 100%. I'm full living proof of that with this eval right now, because I should be well done. I looked at how much in profit on my winning trades I have. You realize it's over $6,000, but my losing trades,
really?
yeah, my losing trades are like $4,000.
Oh man, that's tough.
Yeah, brother. And it's like 1-to-1 risk to reward too on that thing. But like I said, it's kind of just been blind follow, and I've been trading the Russell, which I've never traded. I don't know how it moves. I don't know what my risk should be on it. So it's been like kind of trial and error for the first week or two. I don't know where levels are on the Russell.
Yeah, my thing with the Russell, I've honestly been staying away from the Russell a little bit more than I should, because I know it's been posting some bangers. But I've really just had to kind of, especially this last week or two of like extreme volatility, I don't know the Russell well enough.
Yeah.
Like I've had a hard time judging like what's the appropriate amount of risk, because I got this question yesterday too, for someone asking me, what's like an appropriate stop size or the appropriate time to move your stop to break even on the Russell. And
well, what do you go? Do you go 5-point stops on the Russell? Like,
it changes so much, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't have enough experience with the Russell to really give an educated opinion, right? Like, personally, like, I like 30 tick stops on the Russell, but I don't know if that's a lot or a little with the small amount that I've really traded. I've only traded the Russell since I built the Glizzy Clipper, because calculating the Met and like looking at the Russell manually in the past didn't make a whole lot of sense. But now that I have it plotted and have like an indicator for it, it does make more sense since I can see it visually now. But so I've only spent I've got less than 5 months of watching the Russell now. So it's,
it will slow grind you to death. Like, that is the one thing I noticed. It will just slow grind you into oblivion.
It will slow grind you into oblivion, and I'm still learning the price action on it, and I'd hate to give like advice on something that, or at least like an opinion on something where I just don't really have, like, I don't have enough reps in Russell. Like, if I spent 2 weeks just only trading the Russell, then, maybe I'd be a little bit more dialed on it. But we've also been in just such a volatile environment. Like, the last couple weeks, I've been away from NQ. I have it plotted, but I haven't been trading it. And I've really been forcing myself to only trade ES and YM.
Mason, what are you doing in the chat, brother? Like, all I see is him crying about the bot that he's trying to create for the link to the Glizzy Clipper right now.
You're trying to get the Nightbot to work.
Yeah, apparently.
Well,
Um,
in my
Albu,
Discord, that works half the time.
the expected ranges. I do know that this is where he is going to keep it in the sleeve. So, um, well, yeah, let's talk a little bit about the components of what goes into the glizzy. I guess I know you've explained this probably a million times, but there's still people out there who don't fully understand when a signal will print. I get it, but for the people out there who don't get it,
Oh, absolutely.
you know,
Yeah.
let's walk through it. So you have your Keltner channels, right, which are based on a 200 period moving average, I believe. Is that correct?
Yeah. Let me make the chart big here.
Yeah.
So essentially what we have is, and I'll try to make it bigger too. So you have 3 components that you can see, and there's 2 more components in the background that you can't see. So the arrows, let's go over to wherever we had some arrows. It's been a while. That was
Sorry guys if the charts are blurry. Discord things.
Yeah, so this was all new. So the one caveat with the Glizzy Clippers, we do not include news events. This was last night with the tariffs, so we don't count news events towards anything Glizzy related, because those aren't really mean reversion trades. Those are usually big directional trades. So here's a good day example right here. So let me also hide the delta dots and level 2. So we just have. So this is all Glizzy Clipper right here. We have my zones and then the momentum indicator. So there's 2 things going on in the background that plot arrows. And then we're going to add on 3 things that filter when those arrows get plotted, because without the filters, we would kind of have arrows being plotted wherever, volume and delta and all that wise, right? So we are plotting arrows based on kind of some internal stuff. And then we have 3 filters on here. The first filter being the Keltner channel, which is one of my main things that I love to use when trading, because I trade mean reversions. When do we want to trade a mean reversion? When the probabilities are the most on our side, and I have Keltner channels to give me kind of that, price doesn't move in a straight line. It moves in squiggles. So I want to trade the edges of those squiggles back to the middle of the line. So that's what the Keltner channels do. So that's the first filter that we have on the Glizzy Clipper. The next filter we have is the expected ranges. And this is an equation I have that's based on prior day volatility and some other stuff that goes into that. But that's going to give you your expected size of the day. Like, price should trade within the expected range, and if we trade outside of the expected range, we can expect a large directional move where we're not really expecting mean reversions, right? So we only want to trade inside of the expected range, because I can show you an example from today. Today we broke outside of the expected range, and what happened? We got a big dump non-mean reversion type move. Like, price fell out of the balance and then traded to wherever the new balance is going to be. So we don't want to trade the Glizzy Clipper when it's outside of the expected range.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the next filter that we have on there. And we have the outer edges of the expected range, where essentially the closer you are to the edge of the expected range, the more likely you are to get that mean reversion trade. And that's what I have marked out here. We're only going to get Glizzies on the very far edges of the expected range. This keeps us out of the chop zone. As you can see, in the middle of the day, or in the middle of the expected range, it's really choppy, really balanced, because that's what the expected range is, right? This is the balance. So we want to trade the outer balance area.
Mm-hmm.
And then the final thing that we have as a filter is the goose momentum. And essentially, I took a indicator that was already built into Quantower, and then I added my own CAF formula into it, and I'm using it to, smooth the other one out. And this is essentially a gauge of harmonics. And that line that I was telling you about, of me just drawing a line all day, that's what the goose momentum is doing. It's essentially drawing this line for me all day long. And it's doing it, it's showing me, hey, We are all the way oversold, so have sold at least this line length, one full harmonic rotation to the downside. Right, like right here. We have sold at least one full harmonic all the way down, so we're oversold. So we know that, okay, we're in prime territory for a reversal, or same thing to the upside. If we're maxed out on this indicator or above this dotted line, we know that we have sold, or at least bought up, an entire harmonic rotation to the upside from wherever it's calculating, the average price to be. So those are the three, main filters of it. And like I said, it's just giving you an idea of when price is at the best area in best conditions for a mean reversion to happen. And when all those are in play, and if you have something of your own, like your own entry strat or entry conditions match up when we are in those prime conditions, then you can take your short. Because there will be bad times for the glizzy too. There will be times when, let's go find that big sell-off from the other day right here. So granted, this expected range is just insanely huge. This expected range was delta 4,500 points. So that's an absolutely huge expected range.
Right.
But at the same time, like, this is a perfect example of why you just don't blind trade a glizzy. But we get, we're selling off hard here, and we sold off a record amount in like 30 minutes.
Yeah, but, I would stay away from that kind of heat anyway. That kind of volatility, that heavy of a move down, I wouldn't be I wouldn't be trusting any signal that came in at that point.
Right? Like, we're selling off really hard. We are, like, of course, everything in the mean reversion calculations are going to be printing and saying, hey, mean reversion Terry, because we're selling off a record amount of record volatility in like a crazy short amount of time. Of course it is. But as we get closer to the edge of the expected range, and maybe you see volume or see some support coming in, we are in a prime condition. Like, everything is, in your side of things to take the mean reversion. So if you have something that lines up in these conditions, then okay, like, yeah, everything lines up. But at the same time, we don't just take the glizzies blindly. We need a reason to get in the trade other than just the glizzy. The glizzy is just telling us when we should be looking to get in the trade for the reversal, but not necessarily telling you that the trade is here.
Right. So in this instance, if you have a level lower going into there and you see, like you and I look for wick and reclaims a lot, or what do you call it? A gang sign in a yum zone? Is that what you call it?
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
So we're on the same page here. But you're looking for that kind of setup after the glizzies are printing, and some sort of reclaim of a major key level in that instance. That's what I would be looking for on a print like that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you would want to see something reclaimed, like exactly what you were saying. Wick it, reclaim the level, show some strength in buyers, and then start looking to get in your trade, and not trying to just catch this knife just because a glizzy is posting. We want to see strength coming in.
Yeah.
And that's generally what I do. Generally late to my entries, if you look in my journal, you'll see that most of my entries are usually, like, if it's a short, I'm usually in at the bottom of a red candle. And if it's a long, I'm usually in the top of a green candle, because I'm waiting to see strength and, real opposition into, like, whatever the direction is. And I want to see, that other people have the same idea that I do too about, a level. Like, hey, I want to get long here. Does anyone else want to get long here? Other people getting long here. I also want to be long here. But I don't ever want to be first to the party. But bottom wick entries are really cool, or top tick entries are really cool when you take like zero drawdown.
Yeah.
But you can also get zero drawdown if you're just catching strength of a move out of a level too. So those are generally my most profitable trades when I'm a little late to getting in versus being early. So
are you watching for like delta flips and things like that as the glizzies are printing?
Exactly. Big delta flips. A lot of the times I will look for like absorption and stuff at a level as well. Let me see if I can find a good level. The volume was really weird last week, but here's a good example right here. So we're coming into a level, and my bubbles aren't that showing that big, but we're coming up into a level right here, and you can see sellers starting to get stuffed. I don't know why my sizes of my bubbles are changing. I don't know if I can change that. Here we go. So you can see some big absorption. You know, we're getting up into a glizzy area right here. Right. So we're getting up into this glizzy area. Let me zoom back out a little bit. Glizzies are posting. We're having sellers get absorbed. These red dots are showing sellers getting absorbed. And if those sellers are getting absorbed, or not sellers getting, buyers getting absorbed, sorry. We're basically getting a lot of absorption going on at this glizzy level. That's giving me my indication to want to get in. That's that delta flip that we're talking about. If we start getting huge delta or huge volumes at these levels where these glizzies are posting, well, if we're getting a huge influx of volume at where these glizzies are posting, that generally means that, you know, prices, there's a lot of interest at this price. And because the glizzy is posting, that interest is probably in the reversal. Every once in a while, yeah, you'll get that breakdown, but like those fails are going to be extremely violent. You can trade generally with a pretty tight stop, because if all that volume and absorption fails, and like I said, does end up breaking out to that side, it's going to be a huge violent move like we see in these big news moves, right? We're going to see all this absorption here, and then just bam, it's going to really break through and be violent. So you can trade with these tight stops, and then like I said, it should more often than not work in your favor. And that's the main thing, is it needs to work in your favor more often than not.
Yeah. What's up, D-Trades? Appreciate you, brother. So those delta bubbles, are those like some sort of function of power trades in Quant Tower? How do you...
Yeah, so all you do, if you right-click your chart and go to indicators, add indicator, it's just right here under the default volume indicators, delta dots. And these are my settings for...
Just delta? Oh, that
delta dots.
Delta dots. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me get rid of this real quick, because this just added a delta like profile at the bottom.
Oh, you don't want that?
No. How do I get rid of this? Goodbye. All right, there we go. All right, indicators, add indicator, delta dots, huh?
Yeah. And then I don't change anything up top until I get down to the calculation settings. And then it's important that the calculation settings are on per price and not per bar. If you get per bar, you're going to get like 8 billion dots everywhere, which we don't want. We just want per price, because we want to see the delta at that exact price.
All right, so we're going per price.
And then you want it on dominant side, which should be default.
Okay.
And then trade size reference volume, you want it on minimum volume.
Yep.
And then use diagonal comparison selected. And then in threshold settings, for YM, I have 40. I change it between 40 and 60 depending on the day. Because last week was super high volume, so I had to up it to 60. But like this week, I turned it back down to 40. So it really just depends. I mean, you'll know pre-market kind of like how the market's moving if you need to have it at 40 or 60.
So you're basically just saying like, what size order do you want for it to print a bubble on the chart, right?
Yeah. Like the smaller the number, the smaller delta it takes in. So like the 40, like it's big enough to where it matters, right? Like the bigger the number, the less bubbles you'll get, because it's got to be bigger delta to show up.
So like NQ, you're pretty much looking at 30 and above, probably somewhere in there. 40.
I think for NQ, I actually have even higher than that. And then also make sure the allow 0 and then the show small volume, both of those are deselected.
Deselected, okay.
Yeah. And then that should be all you have to change.
So let's go, what do you go, 100 on NQ?
for NQ, let me scroll over to here.
I don't know. I really only take notice of 100 or more. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, I
Yeah, so
guess.
my minimum volume on NQ is 100.
Okay. Yep, yep, yep. Minimum dot size 10 points. Maximum dot size 100 points.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well, maximum dot size. There shouldn't even be a maximum dot size.
So
Oh, you're looking at the circle size settings.
yeah. Because
I
right
don't
now,
mess
right
with.
now, when I'm looking at my NQ chart, it's just a bunch of bubbles. That's all I see is a bunch of bubbles.
Oh, turn off the your minimum volume under threshold settings needs to be at 100.
Yeah, that's where. Oh, there we
The,
go.
the
There we go.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. The circle size settings just changes the actual size of the bubbles,
Okay.
not the delta inside of them.
All right. That's good to know. I always wondered. I was like, does he have some sort of, some sort of like power trades special license going on over here?
No, no, just a default indicator in
Yeah,
Quantower,
yeah,
which is
yeah.
nice because I have this kind of like auto built in to the Glizzy, but now that that I don't have to have like that part actually built in to be plotted on the Glizzy, which is really nice because it's just automatic.
Yeah, that is nice. That's good to know. Actually, I'm gonna mess around with that. Obviously, after the stream, I'm not gonna mess around right now with it. But yeah, that's a good thing to have on your charts for sure.
It's very convenient. Like I said, you'll really be able to notice when big delta is coming in at those pivots. You'll either be able to see buyer. Essentially, all I use it is to see buyers getting stuffed, or sellers getting stuffed, or just big
Yeah.
big orders getting put in a direction of the trade you're wanting to take. Also,
Yep. All right. So, plain man's terms, simple man's terms, criteria for a glizzy to print, right?
yeah,
Of course, I already know this, but for everybody watching out there, whoever is watching, you need a price to be within either the two red lines or two green lines on your chart. This is
yes,
the simple man's terms. You need the Celt either upper. You need the Celt upper in between the two reds, and price to be above the Celt upper or touching the Celt upper in between the two reds. Correct.
yes,
You also need the momentum indicator or the momentum oscillator to be overbought in this
yep,
example in order to get a print
yep.
of the glizzy.
And just because everything is matched doesn't always mean you will get a Glizzy, but you need at least those three things showing for a Glizzy to pop up.
Yeah. Jack, yeah, you do need level 2 because it's a volume function. So
No, you do not actually.
not for the glizzy, for what he's
Oh,
talking
for the
yeah, for the delta.
for the delta part. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. For the delta dots, you need it. For the Glizzy Clipper, you do not need level 2. I made it to where you can use it on the free version of Quantower. You don't got to pay anything to be able to use the Glizzy Clipper. That was like the main thing.
Oh, and stay tuned. I did hear you say that Trading View is in the works for a release very
Oh,
soon.
it's more than in the works. Let me pull this up.
Oh, yeah.
Let me make sure that my
So
code
for all
doesn't show.
you anti-Quantower people out there, traders out there,
Yeah,
I
we have.
believe very soon there will be another alternative here.
Yeah, we'll have versions for. I have this version here for Trading View. The last thing I have to add to this is making it also show the goose momentum on the chart. But right now, like this is all, like this works real time and everything. It's calculating and
Yeah.
running right now just fine. What's really cool about the Trading View part, or the Trading View Glizzy Clipper as well, is you can set Glizzy Clipper alerts on your Trading View. Like it's if you
Oh, yeah. That's right.
you can have it. You can have notifying apps, send toast notifications, email, webhooks, play sound, plain text. You can have all of that sent to, like I said, to your phone, or set custom notifications if you only want notified for one indicator, or if you're trading SPY or some random stock, right? Or on the 1 hour chart, 4 hour chart, whatever you're trading, you can set in notifications for the Glizzy Clipper on Trading View, which is Nice. I personally don't use TradingView, but a lot of people do. And it's nice to be able to have it on the chart because I also have the bot in my Discord that plots the Glizzy Clipper for me, and I needed it on TradingView to get it plotted for the notifications channel.
Guillermo, yeah, we got you. We got you. We understand that it's a little fuzzy. We're doing a window capture on Discord right now, so it's not as clear as it should be.
Yeah, Golem, if you just at me in Discord, I'll post all my settings after the stream for the delta dots.
Can you trigger?
But yeah,
can you trigger a trade? Jack Pulu's asking.
Can I do what?
What do you, Jack? Oh. What do you mean? You want us just to click a button?
Can I start a trade? Just right now. Just trade it right now. 5 minis right now. But yeah, the Glizzy Clipper is essentially made for TradingView now, which is nice.
That is really nice.
And it's also coming for, I have half the Glizzy Clipper made on Tradeovate. Tradeovate's tough. So,
how has that been, like, trying to code for all these different, has it been difficult?
Insert the meme of the dog at the computer where it says, I have no idea what I'm doing. That's where we're at right now.
Yeah.
I know just about enough about code to be able to read code. I can read, like, if you show me a script of code, I can read it and tell you what it does.
Okay.
But I cannot write code. So what I did to make the original Glizzy Clipper was for Quantower was I took some code from other indicators in Quantower because Quantower open sources most of their indicators. So I took the code from a lot of the indicators in Quantower, went into ChatGPT and told them I want to make this indicator for Quantower. These are the parameters I want. This is how you write code for Quantower, and would give them like an indicator that was close to what I wanted. Like for the expected range, I took a different indicator in Quantower and like, this is how you plot lines on Quantower, but I want these lines to be based off of this equation. And it would rewrite the code for me to be showing like my equation and everything. And that's how the original Glizzy Clipper was made. And that took me a while to make the original version, to get it to plot, to get it to work and everything. That was quite a few sleepless nights getting that made.
I can only imagine.
And then once I got it made and saw that like it was something viable, like, hey, like, because you always have an idea of like, hey, I like trading this way. But when you actually have it plotted on a chart and like everything that you use is now plotted automatically in an indicator, you can like see if like, hey, is what I'm doing actually have value? Like I've been trading this way for years, but like, what if I'm actually stupid and like when I plot this, looks really dumb. So I plotted and I was like, oh, this actually looks really good. So I refined it a little bit. And then eventually I got to where like my talent ceiling had been reached of like what I could achieve with myself and ChatGPT.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I brought Bird on. He's my software engineer now. And that's where I had him do a lot more things like calculating for like daylight savings time and adjusting for that, or like half days and different data feeds doing different things. Like Rhythmic and CQG define end of day differently, and then Denali defines it crazily different. Like everything defines end of day differently.
Mm-hmm.
So
I figured that out when I was trading with my funded futures, because the DX feed was just, you were like, did you see that print? And I'm like, what print?
Yeah,
what
it's
print
like
are we
DX
talking
feed.
about?
They all define end of day completely different. And like with DX feed, I cannot use the same equation or same like definition as of end of day with DX feed that I can Rhythmic and CQG. So it's like has to be a whole different, like that one has to be a whole different indicator for those ones. And it's just super annoying to have to do all that. And like I said, I reached a talent limit, and that's where I'm having Bird come in, and he's doing a bunch of adding in a bunch of other features for our Quantower version of the Glizzy Clipper, as well as, you know, when we
honestly
get there, Ninja and Sierra also.
Trading View is going to probably be the best next step. because that's the one that everybody will have access to, regardless of what platform they actually
Exactly.
execute on. That is the one that everybody can go to universally and get it quickly.
Yeah. And on Pulu, it uses C sharp for the code for Quantower. But
Which, speaking of which, guys, if you have not purchased the Glizzy Clipper yet, there is links in the description below, or you can go to Goose's channel. He will have links as well. Reach out now, though. Prices aren't going to stay as low as they are forever. So,
$1 billion tomorrow.
prices will go up. They will go up.
But yeah, the problem with TradingView though is like it's got its own little gimmicks to where like because it doesn't have tick data, right? It's all time data, which is kind of annoying. And you know, it makes the thing about TradingView and Trade-Evate is their Keltner channels calculate just slightly differently than Quantower, Sierra, and NinjaTraders do. And that part's really annoying because I've been playing with the settings to try to get its Keltner channel to match up exactly with Quantower's because Quantower is what this is built around, right? Like I need it to calculate like Quantower does because that's what I built it around. So the Keltner settings in TradingView are actually slightly different than the settings in Quantower, and I'm still playing with them. That's why it's not released yet. It's because I'm still playing with the Keltner channel settings to match it perfectly to Quantower's because they calculate slightly differently to where it's really annoying.
I like, are we talking like point or two off with similar equation that you have put in there, or is it drastic?
So like here's the perfect example, and I got like yesterday was a great example. So we got glizzies yesterday on NQ right here, right? If I'd have had the stock settings in for the Keltner channel in TradingView that I have in Quantower, we got no glizzies yesterday. Like it would have been just
there's that much deviation between the two?
It's not a lot, but it's like I said, it's enough to where like moves like this get missed.
Okay.
So I have to change the settings just slightly enough to make sure that the glizzies like this are not missed. Like obviously big, big pokes like that big sell-off that we had, like glizzies are going to get posted. But it's these really close glizzies.
Yeah,
like this.
The tap and goes.
The tap and goes that get missed. And the tap and goes are the most valuable glizzies. Right? If you get one glizzy and then it dumps, like, oh shoot, like that's going to be a big mean reversion. Those are the ones that we really want. And I need to make sure those are the ones that are getting shown because, those big, ginormous sell-offs like we had the other day, like I said, those aren't what makes the glizzy clipper so elite. It's those tap and goes that make the glizzy clipper so elite. So I just have to make sure that it's getting those prime trades because, if someone's only getting these really big moves like this, I mean, it's not near as valuable to them.
So you really want like the single or double or triple prints. You don't want the 12 straight glizzy print type action going on it. Ideally,
yeah, because
you want the tap and go.
I want the tap and go because that shows me that it's immediately, like I said, if we're going for a short, it's immediately weak. Like there's immediately interest into the short side or immediately interest, towards that mean reversion. I can get in just like that. When we have those big, long grinds that, print a lot of glizzies, like I'll sit there and watch for the delta dots or time and sales and stuff and watch for something to really kick in to show that price reversal or interest towards the other side. Like I said, those one print glizzies, those are my favorite because those show that like immediate interest back to Kelt mid or whatever your target is.
Martin, enjoy your sleep. No, we won't be chatting on Friday. Friday's a U.S. holiday. Markets are closed. Just to give everybody a heads up.
Yeah, really throwing off my Friday plans there. You mean I have to wake up and like not be at charts all day?
Yeah, you know. What am I gonna do? I need to. Lowe's had you could get five bags of mulch for $10 yesterday, so I
Ooh.
went and picked up all my mulch for the house.
I saw that deal and I thought about it, but I'm having a hard time with mulch because I have a lot of leaves.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes time to blow the leaves, then when you're blowing, you also blow the mulch, and the mulch gets in your
Yeah,
grass, and then you mow over the mulch, and then it hits your ankle, and then you're angry,
yeah.
you know? So I go back and forth with mulch around my area. If I didn't have as many leaves and trees, I would definitely do mulch around my house, but I just can't because I got all these leaves, and it's really. I thought buying a house with a lot of trees was a great idea.
Nah, it's a
when I
horrible,
bought the
horrible
house.
idea.
I was like, hell yeah, look at all these trees. I mean, you see my backyard, it is
Yeah.
solid trees. I was
Yeah.
like, this is so sick. Like, it's like a forest back here. And then fall hit. And I'm like, I regret buying a house with all these trees. This is horrible.
I hear you. I hear you. Like, there's nothing worse than in fall time having to rake up. Well, you pretty much have to spend a whole day if you have as many trees as you have in your backyard. 100%.
It's a full day, or even the first time I did it, I didn't know, like, this is my first, like, this is the first house I've owned, right? And the first house I've owned that had trees in the backyard.
Yeah.
Because before that I lived in the country, like, yeah, trees fell, but then the wind just blew them away.
Oh, I got a
Like,
grand. I got a grand tour of where you grew up the other night.
Yeah. Google Maps.
Yeah, I got the full tour of Kansas farmlands.
Yeah, like we had trees, but like the wind just blew them away. Like they didn't stay in your yard. They went to the next person's yard. Like here, like we have like fences and not that much wind in town, so it's a problem. And I let way too many leaves fall. It took like 2 days of cleaning leaves to get the backyard visible again.
Yeah, it does. It does. And if you leave the leaves there, they kill your grass. So it's like you got to get them up. Yeah, I don't know what the solution. I don't know what the easy solution is. Do you have a zero turn? I guess you could always rent one of those like huge vacuum things and pull it behind a mower or something.
Actually, I ended up just getting a wand. And Juan comes and does my
Getting a wand.
he comes and he does my lawn and he does my leaves and he also fixed my roof.
Nice.
Greatest investment ever is just getting someone to do your yard work for you. And I didn't realize how nice it was until like I realized like, oh yeah, I haven't mowed my lawn in like I haven't mowed my own lawn in like almost 3 years now, and it's great.
I don't mind.
I don't
mind mowing.
I don't even own a lawnmower right now.
Really?
That's where we've gotten to. No, Juan does it all for me, and he say he does a great job, and he charges me like the amount he charges me just little enough to where I look at the price and it's like, yeah, it's not worth my time to do it for that price. So like I'm gonna pay Juan to do it.
Yeah. That's funny. Americans have all these deals we never have from Lowe's or Home Depot. Jack, you're in Canada, I'm assuming? Because I think that's the only other spot in the world that has Lowe's and Home Depot, right?
Them darn Canadians and their lack of deals.
I know I thought about this stream, Goose, and I was like, oh, all our British friends are not going to be happy with the timing of this one.
Yeah, poor Joel. I think Joel's probably already in bed, so it's upsetting for him.
Probably, even Albu. Albu's even an hour ahead of them. He's in Germany.
Ah, man, tough noodles for Albu. That's for sure.
Jeez. Yeah, I had.
But Albu was here, wasn't he?
Albu is. I think he is here.
Oh my god, dude, it's got to be like 4 a.m. for him right now.
What time is it? He's 6 hours ahead of us.
Oh, so it's only like 2.
Yep, Albu's still here. Yeah, Albu. So there's certain things about the Glizzy that won't be given away. I'm sorry.
Can't give all my secrets away.
Yeah.
if you knew everything, then why would you come hang out with me, right? You'd take it and run off by yourself. That's the key to getting friends
Right, right,
is you
right.
create an indicator that's so good that they have to hang out with you because they kind of want to know how to use the indicator.
Ask Goose about how much he loves TradingView's POCs. Oh no,
Don't even get me
are we gonna go
started
on a
on
rant?
don't even fucking get me started. They don't work. They're just incorrect. They are literally incorrect. I can't even pull one up right now because they'll just make me angry. But
Yeah.
if you change time frame on TradingView, it will change the volume profile because it's calculated like per candle and not actually per tick.
Really?
Yes, it is the dumbest
So
thing
that's
that
why
anyone.
that's why people are always like, "Where's your point of control?" Okay, everything's making sense now. Because I'm always like, "What do you
Yeah,
mean? Where's my point of control? How is that moved around?"
it's just I don't even understand why they would release it if it's going to show incorrect information. Like, I get it if you only traded one time frame and it's consistent, that's all that matters is something that's consistent, but like it's still wrong and they're not transparent about it either. Like, excuse me. I found out after I was comparing it with Quantower, I was like, why does my POCs never line up? And then I found out that it's like if you look at it on different time frames, uh, the volume profile is like completely different, and it just makes me so angry that they would do it that way because it's so dumb.
I yeah I don't I don't understand why how that something that important could be different on any trading platform. Period. You know,
Yeah,
I mean that's
it
volume related, correct?
yeah, and yeah, it's literally volume profile, right? Like you want to see the volume
Mm-hmm.
for like those like showing volumes at price. So it would make sense that you show the exact volume at those price, but it's calculated different. I don't know. I don't know. It makes me mad. It's just dumb.
Yeah.
It's one of the top five things. It's one of the top five dumbest, most annoying things of any trading platform. Granted, they all have their issues. Quantower has plenty of its issues too.
Yeah.
But man, it's just yeah, drives me crazy.
I will say this though, right? For those of you who don't trade Quantower who are anti Quantower, Quantower is pretty much download and go. Like you can literally download the app, open up a chart, and you can function. Whereas Sierra chart, you need an advanced degree in order to even get a trade going.
Yeah, you have to buy it. You literally have to buy a course to get your chart set up.
Yeah.
And also the thing with Quantower too is like it's free. You don't have to pay anything to use the like. If you have data, you just connect it to Quantower Go. I use the paid version of Quantower through Optimus Flow, but that's because like I have a personal account and I trade a lot of money with this.
Right,
So
right.
I always kind of recommend buying the paid version because it's always a little bit better and you get more stuff. But at the same time, you can use the free version of Quantower and it's nice enough to like, if you have one account and you just want to hit the buy and sell button and do simple brackets, Quantower is perfect for you because you can download it and be up and running all within 5 minutes.
Yep.
I mean, I did a one take how to set up Quantower video and it was 15 minutes long. And I set up from downloading to setting up my entire chart setup back when I had like footprint and like all sorts of other stuff.
Yeah.
Like full video, 15 minutes long, shot in one take.
And let me guess, most viewed video on your channel probably.
It really is. It's
Is it?
upsetting because it was the easiest video I made and like the least amount of effort of like literally me just getting on and like, okay, I'm just gonna set up Quantower and I just did it live right there. And I was just like, this is out of all the videos I put like all this effort into, like the easiest one got the most views.
Yeah, it's funny how YouTube works like that. Later,
Yeah.
Mason. Thanks for hanging up with us. Yeah, it's crazy. I haven't figured out the whole YouTube algorithm thing yet. Like, there's content that I think is like good and should catch on, right? And just bombs. Like absolutely
Yeah.
bombs.
And then the weird thing about it too is like you ever get on like your For You page and there's a video that you just don't want, like you're not going to click on the video because like you're just not that interested in it.
Yeah.
And you go to your YouTube and like, oh, that video shows up. And then you go to your YouTube like the next day and like that video is still there, like on the very top of your For You page. You go there like a week later, that video is still there. It's
I
like,
know.
I don't want to watch this video. I've never clicked on it.
Yeah.
Like I don't care about it. Like
Yep.
it's still there. But then like videos that like actually really are good, like almost never show up on your For You page.
Jack, how do you place trade with preset and style? You want to show them how to place a bracket order?
Yeah. All you have to do for, like with Quantower, so you have your account selected. Let me make it not slim mode. I have my account just hidden right now, but
go ahead and just maximize that screen if you could, so he can.
Oh, absolutely.
There we go. There we go.
All right, so let's say you want to do one contract and you want to have a stop loss. Like this is just the stock chart, right? Like I've done nothing to this order entry window over here. All you have to do is go to take profit, turn take profit on, and say you want 20 ticks for your take profit. Then your stop loss, you want 20 ticks. Boom, take profit, stop loss set. You can either set a limit order down here and it'll trigger when you hit, or you can, you know, do your market orders right here. But that's all there is to it, to doing your bracket settings.
Guys,
you can obviously do way
I,
more complicated brackets if you want, but I usually trade 1 to 2 contracts, so I don't.
Delete that market button on NQ for the time being, guys. Absolutely deleted. I clicked it the other day live on Stream Goose, and I was down $400 as soon as
instantly.
I clicked the button.
Yeah. I don't know if you've noticed or not, but I only even have order entry windows on.
Yeah. Actually,
I
I minimized mine as well. I went slim mode on that.
Yep. I only have the slim mode is just like a necessary thing. Like the stock order entry order window is like a little just too big. Like it takes up way too much chart room.
Yeah.
So slim mode is a must, but then like I can't even place orders on NQ or RTY right now. I don't even have the order entry windows up.
Yeah. Hey Dave. Welcome if you're just joining. You missed Goose going, basically explaining everything in plain man's terms, in Dave terms.
We know everything now, literally everything.
So yeah, Goose, this is where, let's see, let me get to the right account here, and I'll drag the account info over so that you can see where we sit on this account.
Yeah, show everyone. Let's talk about the Glizzy account. Enough about my stuff.
Yeah, but it is your stuff. It is your stuff.
Yeah, but your stuff, like the way you're doing it, is more important though.
Yeah, so like if you guys don't know, I am doing a Glizzy series. I plan on putting one video out a week. I just don't have anything really extra to film just yet until this thing passes. But for those of you that don't know, I am going through a prop firm account strictly trading Glizzy signals, and that's all that I'm taking. Currently, I'm on a 50K account, and we are $365 away from passing currently. I've been in the thing for 2.5 weeks, though, Goose. I'm not gonna lie; it's definitely the longest evaluation I've ever had. Hey, Sam.
Yeah, I mean, at least you started it at like just like the worst time though. Like,
okay,
the Glizzy Clipper is designed for low volatility environments, and like the last 2 weeks have been like the craziest 2 weeks. Actually, last week we did literally have the most volatile day in NQ history. Like, quite literally the most volatile day ever in NQ. Like, that's how volatile last week was. So like, talk about starting at like the wrong time. But the fact that you're still made money over that 2-week period does show the good side of it, that even in times of like serious volatility like that, you can still be profitable. I think that's actually the most valuable part of it.
Yeah, and I mentioned that in episode 1. Like, it definitely still kept me out of a lot of trouble, and really the thing should be passed. Let's face it. I mean, I have $6,000 in profitable in winning trades, right? Like, I only need 3,000 to pass this thing. So a lot of it is self-inflicted wounds. You know, taking a lot of paper cuts to catch the one banger because I'm blindly following a signal. You know, like on the Russell, I have no idea what I'm doing. Why am I trading the Russell in this thing if that's the case? The YM I know a little bit more about. I can pinpoint levels pretty good on YM. And I probably should have just stuck to YM or ES over this time span. But even the ES is, people were telling me this morning, why don't you just trade ES? We think you do really well in ES. You pick levels on NQ really well. I'm like, do you realize that it's every bit as volatile as, what's going on here?
I was just trying to say hi to Sam in chat.
Oh, okay.
But I don't think it's going to work.
I was like, I see a cell phone
I
up.
I didn't want to interrupt, but
You're
there's too
good.
much glare. It's not going to work.
You're good.
But Sam's in chat, so hi, Sam.
But people were telling me like, hey, trade the ES. And I'm sitting there thinking, I pulled up the ES charts and the NQ charts with no indicators on them side by side and said, tell me which is which, guys. You tell me which chart is which. And you couldn't tell the difference between the two charts. You literally could not tell the difference between the ES chart and the NQ chart. And if you're trying to tell me that ES isn't every bit as volatile right now as NQ, you're wrong. In fact, all the indexes are all their charts look very similar over the last 2 weeks. If you look at all of them. So they're all really volatile right now. I need to figure out a way, and this is part of the growing pains with adding something new into your already existing strategy, is I need to find that extra layer of filtering, I think, as I continue to go through this account. We're going to pass this account. I'm not going to lose $2,635 before I make 365, right? Like I'm going to have a funded account probably this week, probably the next trade that I take. But as I grow the funded account, I'm going to need to learn how to cut out the noise with the indicator somewhat. Do you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or just develop that like entry condition, right? Like they say, you know where and when you want to be taking the trade, but just knowing, having that little extra edge on the indicator to give you, when you need to be entering.
Yeah, exactly. So, guys, before I had the indicator on my charts, I'm a support and resistance trader. So I draw out levels. This is a 15-minute NQ chart, for instance, right? And what I'm looking for is, like we said, wick and reclaims, break and retests, looking at volume around when price is at the levels to see what's going on, seeing what the price action is around each of these areas that you see. And that's how I've traded forever, Goose. Like, that was the only way that I was able to be profitable was, you remember Good Gains days. I mean, I literally you would see the levels. I would execute at the levels and the levels only. And then people would be shocked when I made $5,000-$6,000 a trade. And that's how I've traded forever. In the beginning, I was adding all sorts of moving averages all over the place and trying to, VWAP bands by watching trades by Matt. And none of it just ever helped me out at all. It just made things more noisy for me. So this is how I traded forever. I found that if you are at these key areas, your risk is defined, right? Say you want to long from here at 18,880, right? Risk stop is just below the other extreme of this level. If it breaks below this level, you're wrong. So you get out. Yeah, it's a $400 loss, but you live to fight another day. So that's how I've traded forever. But what I need to do, I think, not necessarily on NQ, but on every chart. Like I said, I have YM levels as well. I haven't drawn down here yet, but you can see I have YM levels too. I think I need to filter out the noisy indicators, or if, like, say we do get a glizzy and it's printing somewhere in here, like around 40,350, let's say, and I have a level that's 50 points away. Maybe I need to see how it reacts as it approaches that 300 level, rather than just getting in right when the glizzy prints.
Yeah, waiting for it to have confluence.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And I think that's why I haven't passed just yet, is because I've just kind of been doing what you said not to do, just blindly following the glizzy, because I've been trading symbols that I don't normally trade, and I just don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it gives you that, you already have that little bit of an edge, and now you're just refining that edge just a little bit, right? You're sharp. You have a knife, but it's blunt, and you're just trying to sharpen it a little bit.
Ross, I've never used rocket scooter levels. Did you ever use rocket scooter levels, Goose?
Yeah, he's probably going on. I have a couple videos on it. I still use it, but not necessarily for, like, I don't enter trades off of it. I use it more as like a bias and kind of to know where the risk is on the day. But the problem is it's been so volatile lately that, like, when you pull up the maps and stuff, like, the maps just say it's going to be volatile, right? And when it's been a lot of risk off type days, so I haven't been really posting as much or like really using it as much, just because it's been so volatile. When we get a little bit more known of like, hey, like the market is more like in a stable environment, it's a lot more useful. But like when it's really volatile like this, there's just not too much you can do options wise, because things change so much so fast, because we're getting headlines like every 30 minutes. So where the levels that you had at open are already completely irrelevant because Trump tweeted something.
Yeah,
right?
There's nothing out there that's going to account for a Trump tweet. Let's just put it
Yeah,
that way.
Exactly. So, but no, I do still I check it every morning to see where the major levels are. And, you know, I keep in mind where those major levels are. And if we get a glizzy, like with monthly hedge pressure, and we're getting a glizzy at monthly hedge pressure, that's like one of my A+ setups. Like I will take that trade absolutely every single day of the week with a lot of size and hold. So yeah, I still do use it a lot, but I just haven't been using it for, like I said, unless I get a glizzy that aligns with it, I don't pay too close of attention to it, just because we've been so volatile.
Yeah, it's almost like if you don't have Twitter up, or X, whatever you want to call it. I know we call it Twitter because we're old men at this point, but if you don't have it up right now, you never know what's going to happen. There will be a 100-point spike, and you'll be like, I got nothing going on right now. Like, what just happened?
Well, it's crazy, because I think me and Sam were talking about this like last week. Is, you know, last year prior to the election stuff, like I would check Financial Juice in the morning, see if there's anything planned for the day, and then close out of Financial Juice. And then like every once in a while we would get a headline. I'd just pull up Financial Juice and be like, oh yeah, what happened? But for the most part, I would just check Financial Juice in the morning to see if there's any news for the day, and then close it. And now I quite literally, I don't know if you know this or not, Wes, but Quantower actually has a Financial Juice panel that you can pull up.
Really?
Yeah, pull up my screen real quick.
Yeah, I got you.
So there's actually a Financial Juice panel in Quantower now.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
If your Quantower doesn't have it, I have it in my Discord. I can have relinked in there. But of how to install and download, it's just a on the top left here, when you go to informational, there's like a Financial Juice panel, and you can pull that up.
Let's see.
And then you can pull up this.
Oh no, there it is. You're right.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah. So you can just pull up the economic calendar and the headlines.
Oh, that's clutch.
And then I just binded them. I have this open all day now though. But back like to like what we were saying, like I didn't ever used to have this open all day. I would check it in the morning and then close it. But now I literally just have this scrolling next to my charts all day long, and just seeing all the headlines that are coming, because every 30 minutes either Trump's tweeting something, China's saying something.
Don't look at next week.
Don't
look at next week.
Do we have FOMC next week?
No, but it starts earnings.
Oh, is it earnings season next week?
I'm just now looking at it. This is not good.
Lockheed Martin earnings call. Well, if we're going to Cyrax.
How about tomorrow? You got Netflix at the bell.
Do we really tomorrow?
And it's monthly. And it's monthly OPEX.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. Let's see.
Well,
what
that's gonna be
Tesla
fun.
on Monday. It looks like. Yeah, you got Tesla at the bell on Monday. Let's see what we got on Tuesday. AT&T, Boeing, Texas Instruments, IBM. Wednesday, we get good old Alphabet, Intel. Oh, great.
Wednesday will be a burner.
I was so hoping that we were going to get a week with like kind of like meh news. Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Instead, we're getting all the news next week. Next week will be a very, 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 very volatile week if we're getting all those earnings coming in on top of everything that's happening. And I'm going to assume what's going to be a massive deal next week is going to be the outlooks. Everyone's forecast for the next quarter.
Yep.
The earnings themselves, I don't think are going to matter that much. Like the actual number of the earnings are not going to matter. It's going to be what their forecast is for the coming couple quarters. Like, are the tariffs, is this company super bearish on tariffs? Or is this company like, hey, regardless of tariffs, like we're projecting a really strong next quarter, then, we'll be really, really bullish. But,
see, the one thing that like I have to keep, that I think we should all keep in the back of our minds is everything is subject to change every day, right? Like, because countries will come to the negotiating table, obviously. Mm-hmm. And so Trump's throwing things out there that he doesn't necessarily believe he's going to uphold, right? He's just throwing figures out there to scare people to get them to the negotiating table, right?
Yep.
So like a lot of the panic selling that you're seeing is exactly that. It's just fear-based emotional unloading by larger institutions. Mm-hmm. As soon as news starts heading in that those numbers come down and that more countries are coming to the negotiating table, things are going to kind of flatline and balance themselves out until Trump comes out and tweets something ridiculous out again. And it's like, so I don't know, the perma bears are all saying, hey, NQ to 14K, hey, NQ to 12K. I don't know that we're ever going to get there.
Yeah, it's a little overzealous on 14K we got close, did we not?
Or we got to the high 16s, mid 16s. But
so we did not. 17K is the number.
Yeah, 17K is the number.
Yeah, so we got to mid 16s. So I don't know, in my opinion, and this is my opinion, not like
right.
Like, I'm not putting out that I think this is for sure the thing. I think the bottom is in. I think we've achieved maximum fear, and now we're on the backside of knowing what's to come with tariffs. Tariffs is the whole reason this sell-off happened, right? And we're on the backside of the max fear of unknown is behind us, and in my opinion, we go up from here. I personally,
there's Albu in the chat,
and am heavily invested now.
Look at these numbers.
Yes, 4,300. Yeah. I personally am heavily invested, and I got heavily invested on this big liquidation day that we got. We talked in chat a lot about needing a day like that to clean out the rest of the liquidity. And this day right here, I loaded the boat on my long-term account with stocks and stuff, not like future swings, but like for stocks and stuff. I loaded the boat. This was a little too volatile here to try swings. I couldn't justify, like, the stops just had to be too big to where I could really hit anything with size. And to hit it with a micro, it didn't make a whole lot of, like, we could get some big moves, but like, or I could just be patient and hit a better risk setup with more size. So I chose to wait. I did catch some nice big trades, but not swing trades.
I'd say, well, the one I don't know.
There was one nice YM trade that was in there.
Yeah, I was about to say, I saw a pretty darn good trade that was actually copy traded that, well, I mean, let's face it, that just made your year.
Yeah. There was one really, really good trade in there, but it wasn't It wasn't intentionally.
Okay.
Supposed
Yes,
to be that way.
you're right.
You're right. I got
you caught the once that you caught the once in a lifetime move on the market for sure.
I didn't have this candle in my plan, but it helped a lot.
Yeah. Yes, guys. Yes, Goose was a part of the 12%.
I was part of the 12% day, but not intentionally. But we did ride that wave.
Oh man. Yeah, I'll never forget when you sent me that message. I was like, "Oh my god, of course you did. Of course you did." Because really, honestly, if you didn't have your entry, Goose, there was no hopping on that.
No. Well, and so the main problem with that trade, though, and like it's a great trade. I'm proud of it. Biggest YM trade I've ever got. Right. The problem with it was I hit it on an Apex account. And with Apex, they have like a 30% profit rule. And I only had like $5,000 in this. This was a 25K account. I've grown it up to $5,000. And then we made like $9,000 on that trade. So now I have to make like $14,000 more in those accounts to be able to take a payout.
Right. You'll be all right.
But we'll get there. It's just going to take a little longer.
You'll be all right.
So... yeah, I think I got to get the account value up to like $24,000 now before I can take a withdrawal. So essentially, I'm doubling the actual value of the 25K account.
I wouldn't be surprised if they try to force you to live again before.
The thing is,
before you hit that.
With my Apexes though, I've been not really taking. I took payouts to pay for the accounts just so that I'm scratch no matter what. Mm-hmm. But I'm really taking my time in growing those accounts because I want to be able to trade them like appropriately with the like 2 contracts. So I haven't been that aggressive on taking payouts yet. So in Apex's rules and conditions, they say 6 payouts before you are allowed to move to live, and
minimum,
I feel like
minimum.
Yeah, it says you need at least 6 payouts before they move you to live. And on most of the accounts, I'm only at like 1. So we're kind of chilling on as far as that aspect goes. But I don't know. We'll see what ends up transpiring on those. Like I say, I got to make a lot more money on those 5 accounts to get those to
yeah, I mean that was an amazing day. Amazing day. I don't know that we'll ever see another day like that, and I'm happy that you were a part of it. I was not, unfortunately.
I mean, I didn't intend to be. I got into a trade and just like set the stop at break even, and then went on with my day. And then I was like, yeah, this will either like be good, or I got a notification set if we break.
I think
into expected range to take profit.
I think that GLOBEX session, I was long from. Okay. The chat's gonna listen to this and go, "You're crazy." And looking hindsight, obviously, is 2020. I was long on NQ from 16,850 during GLOBEX on that same day, and took 50 points and ran.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. Like in hindsight, where I was able to like, oh, I should have held, but like in the moment, like we have no idea that's gonna happen.
Oh no, yeah, no, I had no idea that 75 countries were going to be like, yes, we want to negotiate.
Yes, no more tariff. No more tariff, please.
Yeah. I was disappointed after I watched the rest of that day play out, but no, I'm happy you were a part of it, man. That was a huge day, huge, massive day.
Yeah, it was a great day, and I'm happy with it. But like I said, we got to show up for the next day, I guess.
Well,
so
clearly,
got more work to do.
yeah, because you got to pull that money out at this point.
Got to pull that money out. So we got more work to do.
That's funny. Porch, you're late to the show. What did you miss? Oh, you missed quite a bit, actually.
Gosh dang it, Porch. Where you been?
Yeah, where have you been?
Dude, we've been vibing.
We have not doing a whole lot of trading. Although RTY is starting to get a little bit interesting here.
Are we getting close? Oh wow, it is. We might actually get a glizzy on
Although
RTY. Too bad it's not on my trading side.
the only thing that's scary is the rest of the indexes are kind of pumping in no man's land right now with a little higher to go. So I don't know that I like that print a whole lot on RTY.
Yeah, I say everything else is too far away, and like the main thing for me in this volatility is I've been waiting for ES to be confluence on everything. Like if I want a YM trade, I want to see ES be close, because when we get these really big volatile environments like this, ES tends to kind of be it's the most watched one, right? So it tends to kind of be the leader.
Is there? There's no micros on RTY, is there?
No, there is. It's M2K.
M2K. Okay.
Yeah, for some reason they call it M2K and not MRTY. I don't know why. But
The other thing that I wanted to walk through with you for all you Quant Tower users that have got it for the Glizzy Clipper is Goose. You put out a video recently about how to trade micros on a mini chart.
Ooh, are we gonna do some Quant Tower setup?
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do right now. While we got time.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna click over to my charts so that we can go baseline to set this up. So if you're interested in ever trading micros with mini data, this is going to be the process that you're going to follow in order to do so. I will drag. Let's see. All right. So I'm not going to drag the whole Quant Tower toolbar over. Everybody who has Quant Tower knows where that is. But what is the button that I'm going to click in order to set this thing up? Actually, let's let you do it. Let me go back to your charts.
No, you can do this. I'll walk you through it. That'll make it even better.
I think, but you have everything on your screen that's being shared. That's what I'm saying, so that they can see everything that's happening here. Okay. All right, go ahead.
All right, so the first thing you're going to want to do is I got to find where the button is.
I know, there's so many buttons there.
There's so many buttons. Let me find the button real quick. I got to read through all these because I don't remember.
I want to say it was
no.
Symbols mapping?
Yeah, it should be. Oh, symbol. Okay, it's in miscellaneous.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why I couldn't find it. All right. So are we on my screen or your screen?
Yours.
Okay. So we're going to want to go to symbols mapping right here under miscellaneous. You're going to click that. Now, let me pull this over to make sure I'm not going to dox myself real quick.
Yeah.
All right.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and delete MYM, and we'll do MYM real quick.
Okay.
Symbol. All right. So when you pull up Symbols Mapper, I'm not going to dox myself, so we're going to be okay here.
Okay.
So what you're going to do is pull up Symbols Mapping. So this is going to, we're going to set up to where you can pull up and trade like micro, like when you click on your order entry window, it is a micro, but your data on your chart, your candlesticks are all going to be mini data, or your volume profile. It's all going to be mini data instead of the micro data. Because as we know, the volume between micros and minis is drastically different. And the mini data is what price tends to follow, and micros just follow that. So it's very, very handy to be able to trade micros, as most of us do, but also watch mini data all on the same chart and not have to have multiple windows open just to trade the same thing but smaller. So you're going to want to go to Symbols Mapping, go to Add Symbols. All right. And this is also important because you can, so like for me, I have a personal account that I have good live data on. You can also do this Symbols Mapping from your live data and have your live data on your chart and then trade your rhythmic data on the side.
Yep.
So if I wanted my live, CQG doesn't matter, whatever your live data is for YM, I could have that data plot on my chart and then trade my apex rhythmic micro data on the trading panel on the chart and move the orders around on the chart, even though it's all micro data or mini data. So we're going to go to add symbols, choose the symbol you want. We're just going to do YM. So the main symbol we want right here is going to be YM. I might do this backwards the first time, honestly.
So you're doing the mini contract first, right? Or are you doing the micro contract first?
I believe you want to do the micro contract first. So click your micro contract, so MYM. Okay. And then that's going to be your tradable symbol, right, is MYM.
Okay.
And then our quotes in history, so the chart, what's going to be charted is going to be YM. And you'll just scroll down to wherever you find YM M5. Select that. So our tradable symbol is MYM, and our quotes in history is going to be YM. And then you're just going to hit apply.
Yep.
And I successfully did it correctly. Yes, we did not do it backwards. I thought I did it backwards for a second. I was like, no, but we did it correctly. So, and now when you pull up a MYM chart, it'll say mapped at the top right here.
Okay.
And if it's mapped like that, you're going to know that you have YM data right here based on whatever you did here, right? You're going to have YM data, but you're actually going to be trading micros.
Yeah, see, that's an amazing feature.
And what you can always do as well is, I can't post this part because I would be doxing myself, but what you do is go put in a limit order and then go check your positions tab or your orders tab. And you'll see that you have an order on MYM, even though you're charting on a YM chart. So that's the way you check to make sure, you know, it's also right. But right now, like I said, because it says mapped up here and how we have this mapped right here, we are getting we're getting mini data on a micro chart.
Yeah, that's clutch. Hey, Savvy, does Sierra have that? Tenfold. Yeah, we're sorry. Discord sucks for these purposes.
Discord sucks, or I mean, I can read it on my screen. He might just have bad internet connection.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Who knows? But yeah, that's how you map to have your good micro data.
Yeah, that's nice. That's a nice feature. Oh, Sierra does have it. Oh, I thought we had the one up on Sierra there for a minute.
No, Sierra has pretty much everything you would need. It's just going to take you a lot longer to set it up.
Remember the day Savvy was like, can you do this? And you're like, yeah, give me about 10 seconds. Give me about 10 seconds to get it set up here. Probably took him about 6 months to get that layout right.
Yeah. Even though it probably works better, it took him a lot longer to get it set up. So we got that on you. But honestly, I will say this, as far as like Quantower goes, with like, if it's like, it's had its problems in the past, but all those problems have always came from its connection or people trying to run like 20 Apex accounts on Rhythmic.
Yeah.
With paper data, 20 Apex paper accounts at a time on Quantower, and that's always where the issues have came. Like, I've traded my personal account on Quantower for years now and never had an issue as far as like my personal account goes.
My personal, I've never had any issues with live data.
Yeah.
Ever.
And honestly, that goes with any platforms too, like Trade-of-8, Quantower.
Same thing with my Top Step Live account. I've never had any issues with that one either. Once you're live, you shouldn't have any issues.
Well, they go through like extra hoops to make sure you don't, and then like their SEM data, like you said, it's not as important to them, like those actual brokers, because they have real people trading real accounts. Like the prop firms and paper data is like the least of their concerns.
Apparently we got a few Sierra users in the chat. I guess I upset them a little bit.
That's okay. They need to be upset about something every once in a while.
I see the constant tinkering that they're always doing with everything, and it's like, man, you could be catching a trade right now.
Could be. How many platforms have you gone through? Have you used and tried?
Okay, so when I first started, I was on Tradeovate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I strictly went over. Then I tried Top Step X, didn't really like it. It was in its baby rookie stages.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to Quantower.
Okay.
So I've only tried 3.
Yeah. Well, you've tried kind of like the more main of the 3. You ended up on the best one, in my opinion. No, I started out on Thinkorswim way back in like throwback, right?
Okay, I downloaded that and it just looks like a mess.
It doesn't look great. It doesn't look great. It functions okay. And like futures isn't really like their main thing, but I was doing like I said, I came from penny stocks to futures. So like you had to use Thinkorswim like was like the only option for us penny stock traders
Palm, I see
at
you.
the time. And
you're in the wrong chat right now, brother.
So yeah, so went from Thinkorswim to Tradeovate because Trades by Matt was using Tradeovate.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, like I want to trade futures. Like this looks like it's more like Tradeovate is built for futures. So
it was so simple and easy too. Like
yeah, it was. So that's why I liked Tradeovate. And then after Tradeovate, I went through a plethora of different. I had a time where I went through Motive Wave, I went through Sierra charts, I went through Quantower, and I even tried Jigsaw.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, and then CQG has their own platform too. And like I tried all of the platforms and ultimately ended up on Quantower because it was essentially the easiest to use and had the least amount of like little hiccups and problems.
I've loved Quantower.
It does what I need it to do very well. Like I said, some people want to do more complicated stuff and maybe they need a different platform for that. But like I hit buy and then I hit sell and every once in a while I'll move a limit order around. And that's all I need to do. And it does that.
Seems
and post a simple chart very easy.
Seems NinjaTrader is a prohibited word here.
Oh, no, I used NinjaTrader as well. I still have NinjaTrader downloaded on my computer because I tried to build an algorithm for it a while back.
I mean, I checked it out. I just wasn't a huge fan of it.
NinjaTrader is good, but ease of like I would put NinjaTrader and Quantower like almost on the same level, but NinjaTrader gets ducked down just a little bit because the customization / ease of use is just like a little less, but like it's good and it works, right? Like it's not a bad, like it's a good platform. I just preferred Quantower a little more than NinjaTrader.
Yeah, I don't know. Quantower was easy. Like I said, coming from Tradeovate, it was being my main source. But do you remember when Tradeovate was having all those issues back in the day with their prop accounts, and every day it was like Top Step was having to reissue resets because Tradeovate was just bottlenecking like crazy.
Yeah.
That's when I made the switch. So
yeah,
I was just like, I'm not dealing with this anymore. Tradester.
I think that's when I was making the switch as well. Although they had problems quite a while ago. Because I've been on Quantower for like 3 or 4 years now.
Yeah, I want to say it's probably been like 2.5 years for me.
Yeah, so maybe it was their prior, because like the data issue thing that Tradeovate has, like it wasn't just like a one, like it's happened before.
Okay, so it happened like during COVID times, is what you're saying.
It happened during COVID times, and that's when I made because I was using it prior to COVID, into COVID, and then like kind of mid-COVID times they were kind of having issues, and that's when I made the switch. Just because like when you're trading with like real money, you can't have issues, right? Like having data problems is unacceptable, and you absolutely have to make sure your data works all the time. I've only ever seen CQG have a data problem one time, like ever since I've been trading. And it was for like one candle was messed up on everyone's CQG platforms across the board. And it messed a lot of people up, and CQG issued like an email saying like they accidentally filled an order wrong somewhere and it messed up everyone's data.
Oh no. Palm, yeah, I'm interested to see what Tradester looks like when they finally do roll it out. I mean, I'm on the mailing list for that, and I'm sure you've got a little more in than I do, Goose, but I'm interested to see what they come out with.
Yeah, I don't look for it to be done anytime like soon,
Okay.
right? Like they're building this from scratch.
Yeah.
Like they're not white labeling. They're building it from scratch. So it's important to remember, like, to make data get to a chart is one thing, but then to start including customization, getting order routing, and like all of the other things that go into building a platform. Like there's a lot of like, just having these tickers at the top of your chart show the difference in price. Like that's a few days to make one of those.
Yeah.
Right. See, and how yours is going across the top to get that to scroll. That's several lines of code that they have to invent from scratch. Getting multiple accounts to connect, being able to trade, copy trade, proper accounts, like every single feature that they want to add. And when you look at just one chart, there's hundreds of features.
Yeah.
Each one of those features takes hours, if not days, to make. And so I know they want to, when they release this thing, they're not going to release like a half-assed baked version of their platform. They're going to come out with a very good platform that works very well because they want to make a, splash.
Yeah.
So I would expect it to take a while to get, it polished and everything.
Well, if you're going to gain any sort of market share, if you're going to gain any sort of the market share from what already exists out there, it's got to be good. It has to be a good product.
You can't come out with a half-baked product, because that will be everyone's first impression, and that will be, I mean, all these platforms, like I said, Quantower had issues with Apex accounts a while back, or like with Rhythmic Data. And that just stains the reputation, because you get people saying like, oh, Quantower sucks because it didn't work that one time. It's like, yeah, it didn't work one time, and now the reputation's stained, right? And that's the same thing. Like, you don't want to ever have an issue with something like that, because like I said, people have a very long-term memory when it comes to something not working one time.
Mm-hmm. Especially when it affects money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
But also, it is funny because the people that aren't making money are usually the ones that complain.
Oh, of course they are.
Yeah.
And they're looking for a way to scam their way back into money. So.
Yeah.
Of course. Most important thing is adding trend lines and Fibonacci spirals and triangles. These guys.
I don't know if I can add a triangle on. Can I?
I'm sure you can.
I've never added a triangle to any chart ever. I just gotta see if that's even drawing tools. Is there like a shapes? Up, arrow down. You can do arrows, text, POC lines.
Oh, Dave, they gotta have your Mapster indicator too. The Fade Dave indicator in there built in as well, right?
The Fade Dave indicator.
Yeah.
Just put in like when he's long or short.
Oh, when this guy
shit, you can do a triangle.
Yeah, see?
You can. That's crazy.
Yeah, see?
I have never added a triangle. This is my first triangle, guys. You're all here witnessing this.
There you go.
Look at that.
Yep.
That's a long setup if I've ever seen one. Look, it's a triangle.
Yeah, we have dubbed it the Mapster indicator. Basically, when Dave makes a call out, like, oh, this if it's a lead in like this sucker or this puppy, if he's leading into a call out with that terminology specifically, if you take the opposite side of what he's saying, it's an immediate 40-point win. on NQ.
Really?
Instantaneous.
How do I code this into the Glizzy?
I mean, those in the chat. No, it's legitimately, it has happened on numerous occasions. Who else? Who else is really good to fade is Nims with his call outs.
Like, are we a big fade Nims group here?
Oh man,
fades by Nims.
Oh, it was great. Like, this guy is, he might be the worst earnings call out of where price is going to end up after the earnings release that I've ever seen.
Really?
I mean, like 1,400 points away, opposite side of his call out every time.
You know, what's actually kind of funny is there is a guy in my Discord. He's a newer guy. He fishes in Miami all the time. And I just call him the Miami fish guy.
Okay.
But his whole thing when he started trading was, he said 95% of traders fail.
Yeah.
So you go, he's like, well, I go to these indicators that most traders use. Mm-hmm. And then I do usually the opposite of what the indicator says you should normally do. And that's been his strategy his whole time. And he does actually kind of well with it.
Yeah, I can see that being profitable if you think about it.
I think he was saying, like, you know, when RSI is like overbought, he's like, that's usually when he's buying because most people are trying.
I heard this conversation in the voice chat the night we were touring Kansas farmlands.
Yeah. This was touring farm Kansas.
I was there. I do remember this.
He's actually a very good trader, though, and like it's like that makes a lot of sense because when RSI is overbought, it's usually at its strongest point. So buying isn't a horrible thing. He just catches the ends of these moves that usually go and liquidate everyone out before it actually turns around.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, that's actually a very smart way to think about it because 95% of traders are probably short when RSI is overbought.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, no, that's exactly when he gets long. And then that's his whole trading strategy. And actually, he said he does pretty well and he gets to fish in Miami all the time. So I'm a little jealous.
Well, he did say he did have a big boy job. He does do like something with bridges in Miami or something like that. Like he said
something crazy like that. Yeah.
Like a bridge builder in Miami or a bridge inspector, or I can't remember what it was, but he does have a big boy job, and that's not what trading isn't. Fading the masses is an old job.
But he is still a good, like, I've seen his account stuff. Like, he's legit. Like you'll give him that.
But yeah, he's looking for 10 to 15 point moves, right? Like I think is what he said. He's just looking for that quick initial burst.
You know who is a really good trader? And that's Chris.
Yeah, Chris is very, very good. He's very good.
I've been DMing with the dude quite a bit, and like we talk back and forth, and it's funny when he starts spouting off a trade idea. Like I'm looking at my charts, and I'll be like, "Damn, this guy's fucking right."
No, he's Here's the thing with Chris, right? Like he's actually DMing me while we're on the live stream, asking,
"Oh, really?
You still want me to come on?" I'm thinking, "Yeah, I want you to come on, but are you gonna be all like ghosts?" Like hazy with your explanations when I ask you questions kind of thing like you do in the Discord or because that's not going to be good content if that's the case.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
No,
I am short 2 contracts right now though.
Here's the thing with Chris, right? Like he's a swing trader first and foremost by trade. He's been trying to delve into more intraday type trades lately. He sees things really, really well, right? Like with guys like you and me who are pretty good at picking levels, you know, where we think price is going to do something. He's a little more open, but if he doesn't vibe with you like that, he just will not give away any information. That's just all there is to it.
If he don't F with someone, like he's just very don't reply.
Yeah.
Or he'll give you very vague information.
Yeah. He's good. He's really, really good.
I've been DMing with him a little bit, and he is actually like very smart. When I first started talking to him, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this dude.
Yeah.
But then He's gone. He's a little different, but very smart. And then when you actually start talking to him, it's like, oh yeah, this dude's like normal. Like, this is a chill dude.
Yeah, yeah. You definitely have to be on his good side for sure in order to get the information that you're looking for, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's DM me and asking if I still want him on. Currently, he might even be watching right now. Chris, if you're watching, what's up?
He's probably in bed just looking at his dom.
I know, it's crazy, isn't it? Like, I've said that for a long time. He's the best. He's one of the best traders I've ever seen. That just does not disclose any information really, unless he, well, I don't want to say respects you, but knows that you know what you're doing and knows that you aren't just going to strictly copy trade him because
I think respect would be a good word.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, no, he's good. You definitely see him post his trades in there, and every day he's making 10, 12, 14, 15, 20 grand.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely earning that gold.
Yeah. He'll be on his bike ride through New York City, taking pictures of the Statue of Liberty and being like, "Oh, I got a sloppy entry," and it's like 3 ticks of slippage or 3 ticks of drawdown that he took on the ES.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, bro, what are you, sloppy entry? Get out of here.
Yeah. He's just being a silly goose. Man, you know, it's really dead. I pulled up the heat map here for ES, and it's really not moving.
I know. I was kind of hoping, because it would have been perfect had the Glizzy printed tonight and I passed this eval with you on the live stream, right? It would have been stars aligned. Hey, creator of the indicator catches the trade to pass the eval live with me. But I think it's going to be interesting to see how this series progresses, Goose.
I am excited to watch it because, like I said, I think you're doing it the right way. And then also, to go from scratch using pretty much only an indicator and maybe like a little bit of discretion here and there. Added in with, like you said, with everything you're doing, I think is going to be, I don't know, I'm very excited to watch and see how it goes.
Well, here's the other thing that I thought about, right, is I probably should not have been trading minis, right? Because it's been 1 mini every trade.
Yeah.
No matter the symbol. I've only taken trades on the YM and RTY throughout this whole thing. And it's always been 1 mini. So I've had to kind of tight trail, so to speak. I couldn't let things really run unless they were really running right to kelp mid. So I think adjusting what I'm doing with my trade as well as far as management is concerned, like maybe going, 5 micros instead of 1 mini, where I can like layer in and layer out of the trade and not be risking as much initially on that initial entry, will also help further down the line as I'm building the funded account too.
I agree.
Because then I might be able to take, 1 off at a 50% move to kelp mid, take 2 off at kelp mid and allow 2 runners on those last 2 micros, if so be, and just bring the stop up to kelp mid once it breaks through.
Yeah. I said with me running, like, I know some people is like, oh, should I run partials or not partials? Like, for me, having a runner is what's paid my bills my entire trading career.
Yeah.
Like, the runner is what, like, I'll take a base hit, like, I'll get my base hit off quick, and then I'll let my runners either go or, just have one runner that I have set to like a really far out target. And a lot of it is, like I said, treading water, maybe making a little profit here and there. And then when those runners hit, that makes for a really good day. Like my really good day that I had last week, that was just letting one runner go. So stop at break even and let that runner go. And look at that, made my year.
Yeah, it really did. It really did.
It really did.
I mean, you were a part of a day that will go down in history. Like, you were on that move. You can say I was there and I was a part of it, kind of thing. As a trader, that's all. That's what you live for. Those kind of days are what you live for.
You know, it's really funny because it wasn't that long ago. I was really pumped to be able to say that I got to trade 14,000. Like I had my take profit set at 14,000 on NQ.
Yeah.
And it was my goal for like the longest time. It's like, I want to trade 14,000. If you go into Trades by Matt's Discord and type in 14K, you'll see like 200 some entries by me saying 14K. I remember getting to trade. It wasn't that long ago. I was like, hell yeah, we got 14K. And now your NQ's been like up over 20,000 and everything. It's like, wow, it's crazy how much it's moved since then.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when I started trading, it was after, like, actually trading. It was after COVID. So it was on the recovery from the fall off of COVID was when I started trading.
Hmm.
Um, so what were we trading around 7K on NQ, as it was
It was
building
so
back
low.
up.
It was like, I look back at like 9K. I remember specifically 9K trading.
And I think I was a little bit maybe naive in the beginning, because it was a very bullish market at that time, and I was thinking, I'm hitting the buy button every day and making money, and people are thinking I'm this all-knowing trader because, well, trading was easy at that time. You could literally just hit the buy button at the beginning of RTH and sit there all day, or wait for the sell-off off the open, come into a level, hit buy, and make tons of money, right?
Yeah. I
and
don't,
and you could do it with size on because it wasn't moving as much as it is now. There, like
yeah,
you know, a 300 point move was a big move in those days.
it was.
It was a massive move. Now you have 300 point 1 minute candles sometimes. So
Literally.
so it's like I think I was a little naive in the beginning, thinking, "Oh man, this is easy money," right? And lately, while I'm still profitable, it's not coming as easy as it did back then, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you remember or not, but that was the golden era of people selling indicators with a huge win rate. And essentially, as long as your indicator said buy at any point in time during the day, it made money.
Yeah, yeah, I could see
And
that.
people were able to say, like, oh, yeah, look, this indicator has a 100% win rate over 3 months. It's like, yeah,
Yeah,
it said buy over the last 3 months. Like, if it said buy at any point in time in the last 3 months,
yeah.
it was a profitable indicator. And I
Uh,
just remember indicators being sold galore because they had good win rates.
well, yeah, it was just I don't know. Like I said, in the beginning of my trading, before I ever like started actually trying to earn money, I was trying every indicator based strategy and never really found any like consistent, sustained success with any of them.
Hmm.
So I just stripped them all back. I said, screw this. If I'm going to make money, I need to learn how to read proper price action, learn how to locate key levels, and that's what I rolled with. Right.
Yeah, I say that's what I did essentially for the longest time is just like I said, our trading styles are very, very similar and just like having levels and then I just threw a couple things on there to give me a gauge of like a vibe
Mm-hmm.
of how extended because like I say I do mean reversion, so I needed to know where we were extended at and
Mm-hmm.
then work my way from there. But essentially it's the same thing.
Well, here's where I think having your insight and your indicator on my charts is going to help me, right? Because I'm a much better long side trader than I am a shorting of the market. Okay,
Hmm.
like I'm much better at picking long spots to buy the market rather than sell into the market. I was also one of those people when we were pushing all time highs that was trying to short those all time highs and getting bent over, right?
Yeah.
Just getting everything just kept pumping higher. So I stopped shorting the market altogether for a period of time as we were kept pushing new all time highs, and I would just miss the days that did sell off because I was tired of trying to pick tops, so to speak.
Yeah.
But I think what I'm seeing now, and granted, we are kind of in a bearish market right now. It's a nice little correction area, but I'm starting to see what the bears are seeing. The people that constantly like to short the market. So I'm starting to see those setups a little bit better, which is good because
Hmm.
I've never been able to see them before. When you're pushing new all time highs, how do you pick levels?
Yeah. And a lot of that comes from too of when people started trading what side they prefer. because you'll see a lot of newer traders say, like, if they started trading within like the last 2 years or so, 2 or 3 years, they're like, yeah, I'm way better at shorting than I am longing. But they started when we were in that like 2023 bear market,
Yeah.
right? And same thing if like they started right at COVID, like COVID was that huge sell. A lot of people like were just like started right there. It's like, oh yeah, shorts make way more sense. But if you started in any of the bull markets, you know, you're way more favorable towards, I guess they say, you're way more favorable towards whatever side of the market we were in when you started trading, because that's where your it's essentially where your brain developed, right? Because I'm also more long side, but I started trading like 2016 through 19 era, but mostly penny stocks in that era. But like the guy I learned from, like he said, find good value penny stocks and only ever buy, like his main goal was, or his main thing was like, only ever buy penny stocks, never short a penny stock, because penny stocks, like we were shorting good, we were longing good penny stocks, not like the about to be delisted ones. But if you longed those, you had infinite value to the upside, and very rarely were these stocks ever going to go to zero, so you would never lose all of your money. So he's like, always bet to the side where you can't lose all your money, and that was always long side. And so I took that same process into Futes as well. Where it's like, well, although like with Futes the leverage is like way different, but it's still the same idea of like stocks are eventually always going to go up, so like should play to that side, right?
Yeah.
And so I've always been better at longing, although over the years I have, like, I can see the shorts that come, and I take quite a few shorts now.
Yeah.
But long side was my preferred side, and still is kind of like my preferred side.
Mine too. Well, because in the back of my mind, you know, there's what 100+ years of evidence now to say, you know, 80% of the time the stock market's going up, 85% of the time.
Yeah.
So odds are in your favor playing the long side, for sure. The money's just really good and really fast when you are right on the short side.
Yes, I think that's like the main thing too, is like with shorts, you're instantly filled. You're not going to be sitting in a trade very long if you're correct on a short.
Right.
Unless you're me, then you will sit in the short all day.
Dave says
that's usually how it works.
Dave says I don't have a preference, but shorts move a lot faster and straighter longs take a while to get there. Yeah, say that to the 12% update we just had.
Dave's taking it.
Yeah, Dave can be long, like he says there. He can be long and short on the same 1 minute candle.
He's bi-directional.
Yeah, but you're right. You're kind of right, I guess. The reason why I prefer longs is much like how I explained it. You know, if the market is going up 80% of the time, you're obviously odds are in your favor to be favoring the long side over the long haul. But I definitely want to be able to capitalize when we're in times like this, when the moves down are violent, you know, and I wasn't for the first year. If I was catching a short move, I was maybe catching 30 points NQ, you know, maybe if I was lucky. And after I caught that move, I'm just sitting out because I'm scared to get in because I don't want to short the bottom and have this thing rip right back in my face.
But, you know, it's also crazy, too, when you say 30 points in Q. Like, that used to be something you grinded, like, all day for.
Yeah.
And now, like, it happens in, like, seconds. Like, that's also been something that's been tough to...
Seconds? That's your slippage on a market order.
Right. Like, that's been something that's been really tough for me to adjust to, is, like, the size of the moves. Because we were looking at... So, like, I got the record in our Discord. Between us, we kind of have, like, a... like, just keep a record of like who has the biggest trade on what. Like I got the record on ES last week.
Okay.
And I got a 200-point ES trade, which is insane.
That's wild.
But it was like half the day. Like it was only like half the bet. Like I had 200 points on the table. And I'm looking at it like, this is insane. Because I go back a year ago to when Rocky got the record, and it was like 118 points.
Is Rocky still around?
Yeah, he's got some real estate stuff he's doing right now, so he's just been really busy. the hurricane went through,
Mm-hmm.
if you remember, in Florida, and he
Mm-hmm.
picked up a bunch of properties and stuff. So he's been doing,
Oh, nice.
um, he's been dealing with a lot of that because that's like that was his main gig before trading, and then like that's still kind of like his main passive source of income. So he's been doing a bunch of real estate stuff.
Okay.
Um, but he's still around. He talks to us in our other chat quite a bit still. Um,
Hey,
but
because I remember when I started trading, like your Discord, actually, the guys that are in there, when I first started trading, like we were talking about Trade Evade earlier, a lot of the
yeah, yeah, yeah,
indicators that I would use would be Sethmo's stuff,
yeah,
right?
yeah. The Seth Mo.
Yeah, the Sethmo.
Like he literally created Trade Evade. The
Yeah.
Seth Mo. That's what I tell people at least.
Yeah. But
Like
go on.
literally the founder of Trade Evade.
Yeah. Yeah. That.
I don't remember what we were talking about. I lost train of
Yeah,
thought.
me too. I got sidetracked there for a minute.
I've been kind of looking at this glizzy, seeing if it's going to post here on RTY.
Yeah, me too. I just don't. The other indexes are scaring me right now because they're looking kind of prime for a pump.
Yeah. It's kind of like an awkward time too. Like it's a little early. So for me, when it comes to glizzies,
Mm-hmm.
like if I get a glizzy at 2 a.m., I'm I'm waking up, looking at my chart, like, huh? And then hitting the buy or sell button, whatever the glizzy says, and then taking that trade because it's at it's at London,
Yeah.
right? London glizzies are the best glizzies.
I agree.
Um,
I 100% agree. That's what I tell everybody in my Discord that like, hey, you Brits have the absolute, and you too, Albu. You guys have the best glizzy prints out there. 100% have the best glizzy prints. How many times have you
yeah,
woken up and it had been like a 200-point glizzy trade that you woke up to that you missed out
it's
on?
it's almost perfect every time. That's why I made the notifications for the glizzy clipper, right? Like I made it and I made it set to my Discord, so I get my phone just starts buzzing nonstop. Um, so it wakes me up. Because yeah, 2 a.m. is without a doubt the best time to nail glizzies
Yeah.
because of just like I say, it's low volatility, and London is like one of the better directional market. Like most of the directional moves get made in London. So if you're getting a glizzy and it rotates, like it's going to go that direction for like until RTH open essentially. Um, so yeah, I
I
have alerts set for London, and I try to catch them. It's just tough though, because like 2 to 3 a.m. is a tough time to wake up if you're me. Mostly because I go to bed at like midnight.
Yeah, you do stay up late. I
Yeah,
I I don't. I'm getting old. I don't last that long anymore.
it's not advised, but I do it anyway.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't make it that. Like the other night when we were taking tours of third world Los Angeles and the Kansas farmlands and taking a campus visit to my college, I was I don't 1 o'clock in the morning my time, and I was struggling on stream the next morning,
Yeah.
like legitimately struggling.
I've gotten better at it, but I'm still not great, which is also, I mean, that probably also explains why the first hour of the day I have to trade with just like no sound or anything. Also, like really lock in because I'm so tired.
Yeah.
My brain's not functioning enough to have multiple like sensory things coming in.
Love the tour of your family's farm, Dave. Yeah. Yeah.
Jack is asking, can we trigger placing glizzy order with an alert? Why wake up at night? With Trading View, I think you will be able to through Trading View stuff. With Quantower, setting up a bot to do that is a little bit more algorithmic trading in Quantower is a little Bird will have to set that up because I do not know how to write code to do that. That part's above my ability to know how to do it. Although TradingView, I think can do it automatically through TradingView. Although I would need to look into it a little bit more. But it's something that will come eventually. But also, like with me, I don't trade the glizzies just because the glizzies printing. I need a little bit of discretion in there. But Yeah, that will be something that will come down the line.
Good evening, Fletcher. Welcome. Um, something like that I mean that you would have to charge a lot more for. I'm not gonna lie to you, Goose.
Yeah.
You can't do the whole $5 a month kind of thing for something like that.
I don't like charging for it as it is, but also yeah, I agree.
No, there's just
Mostly just for my time for answering questions too, because like my DMs get pretty full a lot too
oh
on like
yeah.
questions and stuff. So like that's like the main part of like the charge is like if you're gonna want me to like walk you through how to use it and everything, like I need a little bit of my time there.
Well, and you're hiring help as well, so it's not.
Yeah, I mean for the notifications part, definitely because that's I am subscribing to a separate data source and everything for that. Like I am paying to have those notifications come up. So like if I'm paying for it, we're all gonna pay for it.
Yeah, 100%.
And also we had to pay Bird. We got actually like we got the initial amount for Bird paid now.
Nice.
So like
Nice.
we are good there.
Yeah, I have no problems for something like that. Like I said before, guys, if you have not hopped on it yet, hop on it because it will not be that cheap for that long. I think the demand's going to continue to go up with it, especially putting it out on TradingView and more people having access to it. You know, those that don't necessarily want to change trading platforms, that will be happy to go ahead and get it once it's out on TradingView. But I'm Goose, 1 NQ point and it's paid for itself. 2 NQ points and the whole thing, notifications and all have paid for itself. So
Yeah, I say it's what one glizzy trade will pay for the Clipper, and that's kind of like
100%.
the way I based it around. Like one trade pays for it, and like that's after that, like it's free money to you.
And like I said before, I think you're way underpriced. Way underpriced. But we could talk about that not on a live stream.
Yeah. Well, I'm surprised people bought it to begin with. Like I said, it's still kind of wild to me that people bought it to begin with. And also, like for those of you that were around, like it was free for like 6 months.
It was. I think honestly, they should support you anyway. Anybody that's a member of my community obviously knows who you are for the most part. A lot of them come from good gains, so they know who we both are, and we're fam. So we're going to support you, and you're helping people make money. Like, come on, man.
And that's the main thing is like I just want to see the fam get paid. Like that's always been like my main thing of like when they come in my Discord or like in our rooms or anything, like this is a place like I take trading very seriously, and I also want to see like my friends make money and also take trading seriously, because if you do it right and you take the time to do it right and everything, like you don't have to work a full-time job. You could do this trading thing like full time, and like that's what like, and also like people throw away a lot of money trading the wrong way too. So like I take that part even more like nothing makes me more angry than seeing like really bad either discipline or just like doing things that are like obviously very wrong. Like that stuff has to be fixed, and it can be fixed. But ultimately I just want to see all my friends and fam like get paid, get out of the matrix, and like all of us just hang out and trade all day. Like that's the ultimate goal. And you know, to be able to do something that helps people get to that point, like that means a lot to me, and I'm like really happy with like how this is going on.
I think you should consider the rollout a pretty big success. There's a lot of interest in it already for how early it is, you know, as far as production goes. And I mean, it's only on one trading platform right now, you know, and you've almost got someone paid off, or at least what you agreed to pay off, right?
Yeah.
I think
the thing is with it too, though, is like I knew it worked, right? Because like it's how I've traded like forever. like just being able to like visually plot it so I could show people like, hey, you idiots, like this is what I'm talking about right here. Like this, all of these things are lining up right here. This is what I'm talking about, and this is what this means. Like it's been really nice to have that plotted as well because it's just made me explaining what I'm looking at and why I'm taking a trade so much easier.
Yeah. Albu, you're right. And I'm trying. That's almost the way that I approach the Glizzy, the whole Glizzy series on my channel, Goose, and this whole Take Profit Trader account was, I'm going to step outside my comfort zone in Q and ES and trade other symbols with it, right? So I'm virtually blind trading to show that, hey, even a beginning trader could pick this thing up for $50 a year and make, well, what am I up right now in 2 weeks? And pretty poor trading. I'll have it that.
No,
2000.
it's by the way, it's $50 lifetime, not a year.
Yeah.
It's one time thing.
$2,635 is what that account is up currently, and was never negative.
Yeah, in the span of 2 weeks.
Yes.
In the worst time to trade it ever.
Yes, and in the worst market conditions you could possibly have for any kind of indicator-based strategy, it is up. So for those of you who are still questioning whether or not it is a valuable investment, it is the most valuable investment you could possibly make.
I agree, but I'm also biased, so like my agree doesn't matter as much. But
no, I'm being dead serious here. It's not just making a sales pitch. Do what to anybody viewing out there. Do what you will with this information. It is. Yeah, exactly, Guillermo. It keeps you out of the trouble. If you strictly trade the Glizzy, you will be executing in the right area more times than not. You might take a couple paper cuts if you're blindly following and entering trades that way. However, I'm not going to lie, Goose, 95% of the time you see green on the trade at one point or another.
It gives you it's an edge, and it's an edge from people that are actually profitable traders as well. So it's not just like garbage being like, because like that's a big problem I had too, is like learning things from people that weren't ever actually profitable. So then like you're like, oh, like this actually never worked, but this guy was telling me to use it, but he was never actually profitable. Like this is actually coming from people who do make money.
Yeah.
And this is something that real traders do use. This is what I use every day.
Yeah.
Like these 4 charts that you see right now, that is my screen all day, every day. Every once in a while I'll pull up this one or like my hourly chart.
Yeah, your Dom surface or the higher time frames. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, like every once in a while I have those pulled up, but for the most part, like this right here, what you see is what I used to trade.
Yep, and that's how my screen looks now as well, to tell you the truth. And I've never been an indicator-based trader ever, and for me to say this is actually kind of contradictory to what I've been preaching the whole time to traders, right? Like, get rid of all your indicators. I actually believe in this indicator, so that says something.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I was the same way too for a long time of like just trading levels. And like I said, I was slowly adding things to add a little bit of context into what I was doing. And then, like I said, this is eventually where we ended up. But I kind of like what Golem says as well, like trading the compulsive trading habit, no glizzy, no trade. Like for me, it's also the same as well. Like it keeps me out of the chop. Like it keeps me out of this stuff right here, where like you look at this price action, it's strong in both directions, but going nowhere.
Yeah.
Right. Like I used to get chopped up so hard right here. And now I know why, because it's in the center of the balance zone. We're right at the kelp mid. So we're in the balance zone, within a balance zone, within a balance zone. So like, it's just like the worst place to trade. And then knowing like, hey, price should stay within this expected range. And if all the conditions for a glizzy comes up, like we have an edge to trade back to a known target, which is kelp mid. And like I said, it just gives us a little bit of an edge. So like you were saying, we can take a few paper cuts, but eventually we know where price is going to go. So it's just about kind of getting our entry right to get to that location.
Yep. Yep. And if you're good at picking levels and things are lining up, those are generally banger trades, I've noticed. Like if a glizzy's printing anywhere around one of my key support or resistance areas, I know something big is about to happen. And you get a delta flip on top of that. If you get all these components that are telling you, hey, something's about to happen here.
Yeah. What you get what is defined as an A plus trade.
Yes, yes, exactly. Exactly. No, but I mean, I know the level up community definitely appreciates what you've done. And it probably shows in your sales too. Well, I could tell by my affiliate that they appreciate what you've done. And
And like I said, the money part isn't like the biggest part
No.
to me. It's more just like I said, helping people. But the money part is nice. Like I said, it's nice to help Bird as well, because also it funds the future endeavors that we want to do with this thing. Like I said, putting it on Quantower wasn't easy, but then also putting it on all these other platforms, also not easy. So like it funds like us being able to do more with it as well.
I was too slow on the affiliate link. Yeah, I did have the affiliate link a couple of days before, but I planned on announcing it on a live stream, and Dave just Dave, much like his trading, just couldn't wait to have it.
Yeah.
He was like, "Nope, I'm going." No, my affiliate link or not, it doesn't matter to me, Dave. Honestly, Goose and Bird deserve all the money anyway. I'm just a big promoter for it. That's it.
Yeah, well, you're getting paid to promote as well, so
Yeah, I mean that's.
so we're definitely. Like I say, I'm appreciative of you also like going out of your way to promote it and use it on your streams and stuff too. Like that's as I say, I don't stream as much, so to have someone else that is also streaming to kind of like I said, also the same people that I talk to in a different audience as well. Like it's been very helpful.
Yeah, I got you. We're fam, brother. We're fam. Like I've always said when I started this thing, anything that I am going to promote, I have to 100% believe in. And I have to trust the quote unquote business partner as well. And it meets all the criteria on all fronts. So I'm not, I'm going to continue to support you. I'm going to continue to push this because I believe in the product, and we'll see where we can take this thing.
Insert like the bless emoji that I always post. Like insert that right now.
Well, I mean, we'll get to watch this account grow over a year. Can you imagine that clickbait title? That is true too. This single indicator made me $100,000 this year.
Well, even just getting to like one payout as well, like not only, and so that's the other problem that we also face a little bit with like our community, like futures community as well. Like it's not worth something until you've made 4 times your account value. Like that's how things are based off of, right? Because you have to double your account value to pass the eval.
Yep.
And then you have to double your account value to take the payout. So essentially you have to 4x, like if it works, the baseline is that this indicator can 4x your account value, which is, if you go to anyone on Wall Street and say like, hey, I 4 times my account value, they're going to look at you like, what? You did what?
Yeah.
Like that's insane. Like their average return is 5% a year on their, like that's like, if you're hitting 5% in a year, you're getting massive bonuses, right? Whereas like us, we're trying to 4x our account value in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Right. It's a little skewed, but essentially, yeah, like they say, if you're able to grow that funded account to whatever value, like it's incredibly valuable to, I say me as well, like with the Glizzy Clipper, but just anyone as well, like seeing like, hey, look what you can do to your account value by, you know, having this little bit of an edge with your strat.
And like I said, I'm only taking Glizzy trades on this account. There's nothing else giving me a signal, right? Like there's nothing else telling me. Eventually I'll refine the entries and executions, but it's strictly glizzy trades that this account is on. So it will be 100% transparent, and it will be out there for the world to see. So I think it will be interesting to see what it does, Goose. I'm not gonna lie. At its bare minimum level.
Well, I mean, at its bare minimum, it's going to pass the account at least, right?
I mean, we're $365 away.
Hey, you could always just throw 5 minis on right now and get it passed on stream.
Nah, because it's got to be a glizzy trade. It's got to be a glizzy trade.
I know. We're just like.
I was thinking that today. I was like, oh,
this.
gosh, man, I could easily just take this trade and get this thing over with, right? After 2.5 weeks in an eval. But I was like, nah, I have to keep it honest and true. So,
yeah.
It should be done anyway. It's my own fault. It's not the fault of the glizzy that the thing isn't passed. It's my own dumb fault. Remember that trade on the episode 1 where I added into a trade and took like a $700 loser? It's stuff like
big
that.
Loss day.
It's stuff like
but
that.
Your recovery of that was good though.
Same thing happened. I was down like $800 one day, and the same thing happened. Then the banger came, and all of a sudden I was up $300.
Yeah.
So it was. I've had days like that where I've just taken lots of paper cuts to catch the one good trade, which is why you see like a 50-50 and a 1-to-1 risk to reward. But that I imagine those numbers will start to, as I filter out the noise, so to speak, I'd imagine those numbers will continue to go up.
Yeah, I mean, as you get more numbers too, like I said, they'll balance out a little bit. Like I said, to have those kind of numbers over the last 2 weeks is pretty good.
Well, we counted it up. It's like 30 total trades so far in 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
And having to keep risk tight because it is a 50K as well. I don't have a whole lot of drawdown to deal with.
Yeah, I wonder what my trade number is over the last 2 weeks. Let me pull up my trade biz. Because I've taken an okay amount of trade. I know this week's been really low on the trade count.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, last week was actually I did have the one pretty big day where I did take like 15 trades, but like there's just a lot of movement going on. Mm-hmm. So like there was 15 setups. But actually my trades this month have been relatively low. I have in total this month, I have 30 total long trades.
Okay.
And 21 total short trades. So 51 trades total on the month. And we're 30 to the long side.
I mean, that's about what you should be over the last month, if you think about it.
Yeah, that's averaging. My average is 4.6 trades per day.
Yep. When I'm trading really well, I'm usually between that 3 to 5 a day mark, somewhere in there. I know I'm not trading well generally if I'm somewhere around that 12 to 15 mark.
Yeah.
I know those are generally.
The way it usually comes out to is I'll usually get 1 or 2 in the GLOBEX session, like whether it be London or like right nowish, this time. And then I'll get, maybe 2 or 3 in RTH. And then that'll be my, around 5-ish trades a day. Yeah. I said, but in RTH, it's usually just 2 or 3, but because I have the 2 GLOBEX trades, it actually makes it a little bit higher.
Yeah, that RTY just never got there, did it?
No, it's just slow grinding, man. We might be sitting here looking at it for a while.
I know.
I got the notifications turned on. So if one does hit, I'll know, but that's the other thing. I've been trading on my phone like most of the time lately, which has been incredibly like life-changing of not having to be
at a chart you've got
that. Hit my trade.
I forgot about that. I can't navigate away on my Discord
I'll
But
pull. Let me
for
pull it
those
up
of
on.
you, yeah, actually, you're still showing your charts on the stream, so you could actually walk people through that too if you wanted to.
Let me go to. So this is the Glizzy Clipper notification channel for those of you who haven't subscribed to that, which is very helpful.
Hey,
But if you go
go ahead
down
and take over
to.
for a minute. I got to take this call real quick.
Okay. Well, if you guys go down to, hold on, let me pull the YouTube back up. Okay, so if you go down to go over to my Discord, Fred, and scroll down to trade from your phone under trading education. We have plenty of free education channels here of just good information on stuff that you may or may not want to know about trading. Go to trade from your phone, and I do a walkthrough of how to get an app for your phone that downloads. Like, you can essentially trade your desktop. Like what you see right now, you can do from your phone. And I'll show you an example of me doing it. Maybe. There we go. So I'm actually controlling my mouse with my thumb. So this is what you're seeing right here. And I'm able to do all of this just from my phone. So I can essentially go to my charts. And then if I wanted to click market buy, market sell, move charts around, I can do all of that literally just with my thumb from my phone, which is incredibly handy. So if you want to go to that channel and be able to do that, that's what I use to, like I said, trade from bed. I trade from bed a lot of the time. And so that's how I'm trading from bed, is just using that. So go to that channel. It'll walk you through how to set all that up. Really easy. Like, it takes less than 5 minutes to set up, and I'm not even shilling anything here because I don't get paid by them. Like, it's just incredibly helpful. It takes 5 minutes to set up. You essentially just put a code into your phone, and you have to accept on your computer, and bang, there you go.
Yeah, it's pretty handy. Not gonna lie, especially if you have the Glizzy Clipper notifications. Plug.
Yeah, plug.
What's the name of the channel? It's on Goose's Discord, Jack.
Yeah, it's called Trade with Your Phone. So, or Trade from Your Phone. So just go down to that channel, and then, like I said, I got the whole step-by-step walkthrough on how to do it right here.
Yeah,
So,
that's almost a necessity if you have another job or something and want to trade.
yeah, like if you have another job, you can't be on a work computer at work, but you have your phone, or you're at, the wife's friend's kid's birthday party that you didn't want to go to. They say you can just pull up the phone, do all your trading from there. And yeah, I know Kyle, he works in a doctor's office, and he can't be at his laptop all the time, but he's got his phone with him. He does most of his trading from his phone. I do most of my trading from the phone. I have the Glizzy notifications set, and I have trading with my phone set up.
I think one of the nicest features that you have is the print of the chart with the notification whenever that is fully functional. That's going to be so clutch for people that are trading from their phone, right?
Yeah. I'm happy with how, like I say, I got the Glizzy Clipper made on TradingView now, so now I can start to get those charts plotted in Discord. Hopefully coming soon. Setting up that bot is a little finicky because having a bot do a slash command is kind of annoying.
Yeah.
If anyone else knows how to do that, feel free to DM me because I'm trying to set that up. I need a bot to be able to post a slash command. That's what I need. It's a little difficult sometimes, all the time. Right now it's difficult. So if anyone knows how to do that, can help me.
And
Please DM.
guys, if you're out there like Albu with this thing on like 50 different charts, we would love to see the back testing and see the statistics, how it's reacting on something other than the 4 US indexes as well. I want to see how it performs, because I have a feeling that in like range bound, for the most part, markets, the thing performs actually really, really well. Not just the U.S. indexes. Probably even in a trending market.
Well, anything anything that's typically like a ranging ticker
Mm-hmm.
will do good. So like Albu was having it on like the euro. The euro is a great thing to
Yeah,
have it on
yeah, like
because it's
currencies.
always in a range. Yeah, currencies, they always range, right? They're never just one directly one way or the other. They're always kind of range bound. Perfect thing to have them on with the currencies. Gold generally, but gold right now, no, because gold's only been going straight up. I don't know if you've looked at gold at all the last like week or two,
I haven't.
but it's insane. It's we're at like last time I looked, we were almost at like 33,
Yeah, it's at
which is
33.44 right now.
yeah, that's insane. That is we've been on such a tear on gold right now. We're breaking out super hard, so that's something to kind of keep in mind is if you're in like a really hard trending stock or ticker, it might not be as good of a thing to use because like I said, the Glizzy Clipper is a mean reversion
Mm-hmm.
trade, not a trend trade.
Porch. Not officially yet, right, Goose? He says, "Is it? Wait, it's on TradingView now. It's not.
It's not released to the public yet, but it's on TradingView.
There you go.
If that helps any. Yeah, it's coming very soon. I need to do more like just live testing on it. Just to make sure I don't release it and we have any bugs. So it's in its testing phase. Once we get through the weekend and everything and it's ran for like 2 weeks without problems, I'll probably go ahead and release it. I got to add in like a couple little things here and there, but it's coming very, very soon. So if you don't want it on Quant Tower, just wait and it'll be on TradingView in a week or two.
Yeah, Abu, I know you're running with it, brother. But like I said, I'm sure Goose wants to see stats as well, as far as because obviously he's more in development stage right now and trying to get it on other trading platforms. So he doesn't have the time to sit there and watch 50 tickers like I'm sure you are right now, Albu. But
Yeah.
we would love to see those stats, you know.
Well, what's cool is you can do stats on Trading View as well.
Oh, that's true. They do have a back testing feature, don't they?
They have a back testing feature, and I have one made for load your strategy. I have one made for the Glizzy Clipper. So it's
so
just
you can
been
pull
about
up any
like
symbol and see it.
yeah, let me get it. I have to just make sure I don't show all my code.
Yeah.
But like right here on the NQ, if you just traded the Glizzy Clipper, just taking the like this is the most unfiltered trade setup right here with just taking raw glizzies, raw, no reasoning or anything other than like if the candle opens and it posts a glizzy,
Mm-hmm.
it takes the glizzy trade with a 25-point stop. Target is Kelt mid. This is what it looks like over the last 3 years.
That's
So,
a pretty good equity curve, I would say.
Pretty good equity curve, and then like this section right here is 2020, that really gnarly bear market from 2022 to 2023. We had a lot of those like really dramatic sell-offs, if you remember. And that's like I said, if you're taking a glizzy without any if you're taking a glizzy without any discretion whatsoever, you're going to take stops. And this is just it, taking a bunch of stops on those big glizzies without any discretion. But then once that gets done, they said pumps right back up. So, and I mean, these glizzies here are coming from like the current bear market that we're in right now. So like for some reason, the 2022-23 bear market was just way different conditions than what the current bear market is, because the current bear market we're in right now did great.
Yeah.
But I mean, this, like I said, this is just raw glizzy dad. This is no discretion, nothing. Like I would not trade. Like I know it looks good on a chart, like this back testing chart here, but this is like I would not trade this strategy. Like personally, I would not trade this strategy. This needs refined. But just seeing this like this is like, oh hey, even though this isn't refined, that looks pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. That's extremely raw.
Yeah, so it needs. I'm still learning how to set up and build strategies and do like the filtering and stuff in TradingView. So I'm getting that all set up still. But this is like the most raw one. So like looks pretty good.
I think it does. I mean, that's basically what you want an equity curve to look like, right?
It goes the right direction
Yeah.
most of the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it goes the right direction most of the time. That's what we want.
Oh, come on, RTY. Just give us that one little knife up here.
I know. I'm just like hanging on for this thing to like
Bro.
come clip, but I don't know if we're gonna get it
I don't
or
think
not.
so either. Everything else is just kind of slow crawling. So that Kelt channel,
Yeah.
that Kelt channel is just going to keep going up.
Yeah, but Tyler says, "Oh, so raw." Yes, it is, Tyler.
Yeah, it is. Dang.
You know who has been hitting some banger YM trades, and that is Tyler.
Yeah?
Tyler is probably the best YM trader that I know. And that's also including my, like, I think he's better than me at trading YM. I'm not going to lie.
Who else is really good at Donna was really always really good at trading
Oh,
YM.
Donna is very good at trading YM. She is, but she's like old school, like long time trader too. Like she's been trading for a long time. She was from the pits.
Yeah, I know. I know. She left my Discord. So I don't get to talk to her as much.
That's all Palmetto's fault. So you can thank him for that one.
Yeah, there wasn't much said, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, people have their own. They can choose to do whatever they want to do.
Yeah, they can. But yeah, it's like I say, I have no dogs in the fight. But
Oh, neither do I.
Yeah.
Neither do I.
Tyler says, or Tyler versus Tom Hogard win. I think Tyler clears. Tyler clears easily.
Woo! Albu always
So,
makes the joke whenever I have a special guest on. Is it Tom Hogard? Like, no, it's not. Clearly, I'm not having Tom Hogard on my channel.
Who's the top step? It's Hoagland, right?
Oh yeah, it's Hoagland.
Yeah, I always get those two mixed up. I was like, it's not the top step guy, is it? Because
Did you happen to see today? My Fun and Futures rolled out their own version of Top Step TV where they have a live stream now.
did they really? I did
Yes.
not see that.
Yeah.
I know that Ninja Trader has theirs now.
Who was on there? There was some chick named Bull Barbie that was on there. And then there were a couple guys that I've never seen before either. But yeah, they definitely started their own live stream.
Yeah, is it more influencer side, I would assume?
Probably. Whatever's going to help their bottom line, I would assume.
Yeah.
Goose, last Friday they rolled out a promo code, like a flash sale that made the 50K all-in price $63.
That's an incredible deal. Anyone that didn't, I saw that you posted that link. I was like, anyone that didn't take advantage of that link is silly.
Yeah.
Because that is great.
Yeah. Yeah, that's unbelievable all-in pricing for a 50K eval. I think it was across all the evals, so I don't know what the pricing was on like their 150K, but if you didn't swipe those up, that was just ridiculous to not do so. I mean, I want to say when they send you to live as well, they're daily payouts now too.
Are they really? See, that's good.
Yeah,
we like daily payouts.
I think they're daily pay. The take profit traders daily payout. You know,
I'm hoping that it's good enough to where it forces Apex to be better with their payout rules.
I think is Top Step going daily payouts on their lives as well.
I think they're still the 5-day rule.
Their 5 winning days of 200 or more.
Yeah. Which I hate personally. I hate you have to make a certain amount, especially on like a 50K account, like making 200 a day. Like,
Hey.
we're pretty close.
Yeah.
I saw the can. I was like, we're getting pretty close.
I was distracted there for a minute too.
But the risk parameters on like having to, you essentially have to hit a 10% day,
Yeah.
5 days to make a payout, which is kind of a lot. I mean, like I know $200 doesn't sound like a lot, but when you only have uh $2,000 total in drawdown, like it is like 10% day is like pretty big.
Yeah, when you put it that way, actually, I never thought about it like that. Because that's in theory what you have to do.
Yeah, because like the biggest misleading thing they do too is tell you that you have a 50K account, but then you have $2,000 worth of drawdowns. Like you have a $2,000 account.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
they should really drop like the 50K thing, because you don't have, it's not a 50K account. Like you have $2,000, and like with margins these days, like they're giving you the margin, like the day trading margin that all firms give you with $2,000. Like that's all it, like it's super misleading.
I
And
agree.
if you can't hold overnight, then what's the point of having the 50K above it? That was the whole point of the prop firms giving you 50K, was so that you could hold trades overnight.
Yeah, I agree. Later, Savvy.
We'll see you, big dog.
Yeah, I agree with that. Because I definitely remember when I first found out about prop firms and I heard 50K, I was thinking, oh my goodness, this they're gonna give me $50,000 to trade, right? But then I looked into it and was like, okay, yeah, it's really only $2,000. So the people that are just getting into trading, which by the way, beginning traders that are just starting out in these markets right now are screwed if they're trying to trade prop firms. But yeah, they should just come out and say, hey, it's a $2,000 account, right? Why give it the glitz and glam of, hey, $50,000?
Yeah. I mean, it's just be for transparent. Like I get they don't have to technically, but like for transparency's sake, like it would make a little bit more. I don't know, it'd just be more clear. You just have like you have $2,000 to work with, and that's it. It's like okay, like it's still a great deal. Like you're telling me with Apex, I can pay whatever the last deal was, like $100, and you get the eval for $15, funded account for $85, and then it's a 250K account, so now you have $6,500 in drawdown, and you paid $100. Great deal. Like that's an amazing deal, and you can have it in a day. You could have that account tomorrow if you placed your YOLOs correctly.
Yeah.
So like that's insane risk. Like that's an insane value if you get paid out.
What are they still? Are they a 90-10 split?
Yeah, after 25K or something like that.
So they're 80-20 and then 90-10? Or no, so it's 100%
no,
up to 10K.
It's 100% and then 90-10 after you make your first. I can't remember if it's 10K or 20K.
See, that's where take profit is falling behind, right? Like, so they have the daily payouts, but they're 80-20 up to a certain amount and then 90-10 after that.
Yeah, I guess that's what you pay for getting daily payouts, though. Like they gotta have their safety net in somehow, right?
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So I like the daily payouts is nice though. Like, and especially since the rules are so transparent. The thing I hate about Apex is like, oh no, did I break a rule this week? I don't know. You know?
Yeah, 25K per account on Apex. I want to say, what was my fun of futures? It was 30 winning trading days they forced you to go live. And a winning trading day with my fun of futures was $100 or more.
Yeah. Well, even the live thing, like, I feel like if you pass they should just make the evaluations to where if you pass the evaluation, like you just go to like, that's how it used to be. And then they started coming up with the, because like I remember Top Step, it used to be.
You could select whether you wanted to stay in sim or go live, is what it was.
Yeah,
when I
remember even before that, but like before that, the evaluation was 2 steps.
Yep.
It was a 2-step evaluation, and then you went into like your live account, but you had to make $5,000 in your live account before they would start paying you out. Like it was a hell of a. Like Top Step, it used to take you like 2 months to get
It
funded
was
if you did everything right on
what
Top
was
Step.
it
Oh,
for me?
Decoy's in the house too.
Yeah,
What's up,
Decoy is in the
dude?
house. Decoy, did you ever come to Louisville? I know you said you were coming on like some bourbon tour or something like that at some point, but I never heard back. Top Step when I started out was it was a 2-step process. So step 1 was 5 trading days, but you could hit the full max and not worry about consistency. And then step 2 was 10 trading days, so 2 more weeks on top of that minimum. And you had to meet the same requirements, but you had to have consistency built in as well.
Yeah.
So it was like, so yeah, 3 weeks minimum to pass. So almost a whole month that you were in combine, pretty much. And you had to do it twice. So you had
you were forced to be in a combine too. Like you couldn't just get lucky and get out of it quick.
Yeah. It was 3 weeks, which is why, honestly, Goose, that's probably why I was able to hold on to my live account, because I was like, no way am I gonna set myself back a whole nother month and blow up this live account at this point. There's no way.
No, it forces you to take a little longer, because like YOLOing was not a valid strat, because you would just waste 2 months, 3 months of work.
Yeah, Decoy, definitely hit me up. July-ish. All right, we'll go with July-ish, Decoy. Yeah, just let me know. I should be around. Bourbon 6 paths. Yeah. There was no other choice but to slow roll it once you got to your live account. Unless you were just like, hey, screw it, I'll give up another month. And YOLO, like you said.
But I think that made people better traders too, though. Like I say, you saw a lot more proper sizing and people taking their time. Still people wanted to hit, the big days to get to that level quickly, but still, like the guys that took their time and traded correctly, like I think it did form better traders overall.
100%. I don't think I would have landed on like a support and resistance based strategy if I didn't, because I was no longer looking for 10-point scalps 50 times a day. I was more or less looking for one ideal entry every day. And so it forced me to be extremely selective and be able to locate those levels.
Yeah. Decoy, this is what's in my glass tonight so far.
Oh boy, you guys are already putting it back, huh?
We've been dabbling.
Yeah.
Dabbling slightly. I have a box upstairs with one of those packaged in it that I keep forgetting to take to the mailbox and mail to Decoy. Like I have it ready to go, and I keep every day, like when I get home, like if I go out, because I don't go out that much, right? Because I live here and I trade at home, so I don't like go out. And then I do go out and I get home and like I don't. The problem is where the box is sitting, I don't see it on my way out of the house, but I see it on my way back in. And then I get home, I'm like, shit.
I mean, that's better. That's better. That's a better time to see it anyway, is walking into the house rather than walking out of the house and getting into a vehicle.
Well, it's in a box, like I'm shipping it to him.
Although I've seen where you live, and I must say that is probably the ideal landscape to be able to have a beverage in the vehicle. Like there's not much you can hurt around.
There ain't much to run into out here.
No.
You can drive off the road for a while before you hit something.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, Decoy says he can't wait for more leaves. So the first time I mailed Decoy something, I didn't have any packing paper, and
you did not put a bunch of leaves in the box, did you?
I was shipping something. It was a fragile bottle, and I was like, I can't let this break. So I wrapped the bottle in a towel, and then outside of my house, as I told you, I have a lot of leaves outside. So what I did is I filled the box half full with leaves, put the fragile item on top of the leaves, and then I put the rest of the top of the box with more leaves and packed it really tight with leaves, and then mailed it to him. So he got a box of mostly leaves and then one item.
Oh man, if you ever have Banana Bread Trades merch sale,
Yeah,
at
I
some
should just
point.
ship everything with leaves.
Yes.
I have plenty. That's not going to be a problem. I can ship hundreds of orders with
Oh
leaves, and it would
my.
probably be like, finally, I'll have a use for all these leaves.
I mean, do you just burn them or do you bag them up?
Because I'm in the city, I have to bag them up. I cannot burn. We're technically in a burn watch right now because it's really dry.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not allowed to have like campfires and stuff. Even though I'm in the city, they're still like, hey, don't do that. So
Saving the earth one package at a time.
saving the earth, exactly, saving the earth one package at a time. I could probably get some like carbon credits from the government for those.
Hey, now we're talking. But yeah, that's totally what you should do. That should be like your signature packaging.
You just get leaves.
Yeah, you just get Kansas leaves. That's funny. Dang, I didn't realize we've been on for like 3 hours now.
I think yeah, it's almost 9:30.
Oh,
So
yeah, it's about that time, Goose.
yeah, Decoy's also going to bed. So
All right. Yeah. Chat, thanks for staying tuned in for this long. This is definitely one of the longer streams I've ever had, like live streams, for sure. And I apologize that we didn't get the market conditions to produce a trade at all. But
yeah, that definitely was. We had no trades to talk about the whole time. We had to really
I know,
dig deep in that one.
Yeah, we did. We definitely did. Well, Goose, anything you want to say before we peace out here?
Thank you everyone who has supported the whole Glizzy
Glippy.
Clipper. Yeah, maybe too many drinks.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone who has supported the Glizzy Clipper, and then also thank you Wes for helping promote it as well. I said I'm very proud of it and happy with what it's done. I'm happy to see people like having success, or at least giving people a better idea of where and why the market is moving. Like I say I use this every day. So like I say if it helps you too, great. If not, like I say you don't have to use it. It's totally like I have no dog in the fight. I use it. If you want to use it, use it. But also if you do use it, thank you for supporting. Hopefully a lot more to come.
In other words, use it. If you haven't got it yet, once again, links are in the description down below, or you can go to Banana. Actually, you can go to Goose's Discord and find it as well.
I got one other thing.
Yeah, what's up?
One before you ask me or Wes or anyone any questions about something to do with the
yes, valid.
Please watch the 2 very well detailed videos that I made.
Yes, valid.
Answering all of your questions about the Glizzy Clipper. And if you have watched those both and still have a question, feel free to shoot me a DM or hit me up on Discord. I'm literally always watching and always around. So
valid.
Feel free to hit me up with those.
In fact, you just gave me an idea for episode 2. I'm gonna do the dumb man's version of requirements to for a Glizzy signal print for sure, because you don't know how many times a day I get, oh, we're about to get a Glizzy print, and I'm looking at the charts and I'm like, we're not anywhere near a Glizzy print right now.
Yeah, well, that'll be something that's coming up too, is birds coding in like the range to where the expected range is, to where it will be way more defined if we are in the expected range or not in the expected range. Like right now it's just lines, but when he's done with it, it's going to be highlighted, a box and everything, and say like labels and stuff. Like, it'll be good, but that's all work in progress. But we have the light version, which just gives us the bare bones meat of what we need to see, and that's really like everything else after that is just cosmetic.
Brian joins as we're leaving the stream.
He needs his girlfriend. Hey, Brian, don't worry. We're also partying.
Yeah,
too, so
yeah. I'm sure there will be a voice chat session right after this. So
maybe we just hop over into Discord.
Yeah, that might be.
But Brian's gone. He's in New York right now. So
is he?
Can't hop on anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He's out. He's at the very fancy motel in
yeah, he can get
New
on.
York.
He can get on his phone. He can get on his phone. All right, Goose. Well, thanks for coming on, brother. We're gonna kill the live stream, but yeah, we might be hopping into voice over on what is it, Fred? Is that what the name of it
Fred,
is? Fred?
it's Fred right now. I'm probably gonna go take a shower and get to bed. But everyone can feel free to hop into Fred.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I may or may not be streaming tomorrow at some point. It's still up in the air. Friday is a U.S. holiday, so no trading. Markets will be closed. If we don't talk to you, enjoy your weekend. Goose, I'm sure we'll chat. So,
I'm sure we will.
Yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.